Yes, y'all, it's going down right now. Episode 63 of the 22 Shots of Moods and Horrors coming at you live. I am your host, Moodz616, and of course, I've always got my East Coast slashers with me. NES Ruler 22, also known as Jeremy, and of course, we got the double shot J, also known as JP. What's going on, homies?
I'm actually not an East Coaster, so fuck you.
Close enough. You're east to me.
Why can't we be your fake titty buddies?
Yeah. Man, honestly, it's really hard to concentrate. It took a long time to start up the show because we had our pregame was interrupted with some internet chatterbait, yeah. And that's pretty much what it is, because I was beating the shit out of myself over here.
Yeah, all Moodz wanted was see ass to mouth.
Man, that's the first time I've ever seen that before, and I think it's just hilarious that you can just log on to that and just watch.
Like, yeah,
you don't
there's
have
like
to
hundreds
get into the site.
Yeah, there's like hundreds of different cam, both guys, girls. I think there's transsexuals.
Yep.
Yeah, that is really, really bizarre to me. And the thing that even made the whole situation more bizarre to me is that, they are doing whatever they're doing on screen, but people are still throwing down cash when they don't have to.
Yeah, that is really crazy, honestly.
When you go to a strip club and you throw down cash when you don't have to.
Well, but it's personal. You're right there. People start getting mad at you if you don't. Yeah. They walk away from you or whatever. But for those of you who have no idea what we're talking about, we call what we do before the show pregame. It's where we talk about stuff or talk about the show or just sometimes bullshit before we get into recording. Most of the time we do it way too long. And Kyle... You guys know Kyle was drunk, and he had a couple of his friends over his house, and we got on Skype with him, and next thing you know, we're in Chatterbait fucking making fun of people. So that's what we were doing.
Watching these two hot lesbians just going to town.
I don't even know what you would call that, really. Like, that is a weird position, and they were doing some stuff.
Yeah, like her fucking legs were over their head. Like, it's like, how are you not getting fucking
I wasn't really
stomach
complaining.
Cramps?
Yeah, man, I wasn't complaining. She was definitely getting a workout there. Well, both of them actually were.
A killer workout.
Killer workout, yeah. So what's been going on, guys? I'm still fucking sick. I've been sick for like a week and a half. I don't know what it is with these new strains of, sickness.
Super AIDS.
What the? Yeah, super AIDS, man. What the fuck? Like, I remember when I was younger, I used to get over this shit within like, 2, 3, 4 days.
I think that's saying you're getting old.
That's exactly what I was getting at. I think I'm getting old or something because now it's lasting like fucking 10 to 14 days to 20 days. It's like, what the fuck is going on? I don't know, man. My throat has been just dried. I've been having to drink lots, which isn't a problem because my choice of liquid is usually beer. So it is what it is. But no, I'm just like, why can't I get better? It's fucking annoying. Doing these podcasts is tough, man. It's tough on the voice, But I miss those good old days, getting over that shit in like 3-4 hours. You'd be back outside playing in the snow with your homies. It's not like that shit anymore, man. It's fucking annoying. But yeah, so what's been going on, Jeremy? You missed last week. You missed a good one, man. It was the Lucio Fulci Gates of Hell trilogy, man.
Yeah, crazy. I was really curious to see what you was going to say about those ones.
Well, because I was curious to see, if any of these were going to make the Hall of Fame, because I already knew my ratings were going to be pretty high.
Wait, hold up. You actually want to hear what I have to say? What?
Well, of course we do. But this, because I knew mine were going to be coming in high already, and I was a little unsure about JP, but I was really curious on you. If you're going to come in super low, or if these had potential to possibly make Hall of Fame-ish.
Of course, Jeremy doesn't actually know my ratings because he would never actually listen to the show.
Hell no,
in fact, we don't even know what his ratings are because he never sends them to you after the shows and stuff, right?
Yeah, because JP gets all butthurt because I don't send.
Listen,
my ratings.
I'm not even going to get into it right now, but it's absolutely ridiculous.
Grammar
don't
slam,
have
bitch.
them
Get
right there,
grammar.
ready for him to go to send to me right after the
damn
show.
Bitching at me, get the fucking at least have good grammar.
Oh God!
Learn
I
the
think
difference
it's so
between
funny.
your
I think
and
it's
your.
so ironic that the Jew's the grammar Nazi.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is that not the
He's
most
like,
fucked up thing?
he's like, you're banned until you send me the ratings, and he spells your WYOUR.
Well,
it's convenient, dude. It's convenient.
Bullshit. To type RE, it's that. Or not even RE. To type an E, it's that much harder.
Well, sometimes it is, man. It's that extra letter, man. It's that extra time.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Honestly, like sometimes I'm literally in the middle of doing things. I don't fucking think about what I'm saying. I know what I'm trying to say to you. You know that I'm yelling at you. And let's be honest, when you yell at people, you often say shit that don't make sense because you're angry.
Oh, it makes sense. You just have bad grammar.
Ah, shut up. I do have bad grammar though. You are correct.
Grammar.
But yeah, I was really curious on, your thoughts on these films, considering, they're, Fulci classics in my opinion. But, since one of your, I guess one of your more liked films of the year was, kind of a love letter to Lucio Fulci too. So I was really curious to see what you thought of, where, they were inspired to make that film.
The reason I thought that Jeremy actually might like him, because there was a debate because Jeremy's kind of a film snob to a certain extent.
That's a good statement.
And I thought that he might like them because they're so out there and weirdo. And that's he likes that kind of shit, which I do too, but he likes it more than me usually. So I think it could have went one of two ways. He would have either found them really stupid, or he would have appreciated the weirdness of them.
I mean, they're not like, David Lynch weird or nothing like that, or it's like the look and tone of it. They're just different. They're just really, really different type of films. And it would have been interesting, but what were you doing? You were on set?
Yeah, I was on set, line producing it's called the 72-hour film. It's a worldwide film festival that 7:00 on Friday evening. The festival sends you 2 genres. You don't know what the genres are going to be until they send them to you at 7:00 on the Friday. And then you have to write the movie, shoot the movie, and edit the movie in 72 hours.
Okay, and tell the audience what a line producer does.
Okay, so a line producer basically handles the money and makes the budget. So there's a program called Movie Magic. You learn in film school.
Is it magic, though?
I guess it's magic.
It works as magic?
Yeah, it's a lot easier than having to do this shit by hand.
I guess so.
So movie magic budgeting and movie magic scheduling, and movie magic budgeting is really, 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 really hard to learn. There's a lot of shit that goes into it. I don't even know that much how to do it. I've line produced a few times now, but so line producer basically makes the budgets and handles the money. But on this case, since it was a smaller production, and it was this 72-hour type of a thing, I had to find locations and do my typical fucking Jewy craft services that I always
but this is not just by chance you'd fall into this type of job.
Yeah,
the guy that handles the money.
Yeah.
I mean, really, like it's just not by chance. It's not like you. Yeah, it's totally just ironic,
You know me, I make every dollar count.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this: in the 72 hours, how much of those 72 hours did you slack off?
Everything, because I did everything before production started.
There you go.
So what you're saying is you spent most of that time at the beach.
Yeah, no, I was on set. It was just I did, get the fucking location before we started shooting, and then, and then.
So was it a success?
I think it was a success. The director I worked with, he won Best Drama last year, so I think like.
So what was the genre of this?
Superheroes.
Superheroes. Oh well, at least it wasn't like romantic comedy bullshit.
So we came up with Chicken Nugget Man.
Chicken Nugget Man.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, and he threw chicken nuggets at people. Hey, I'm not part of the creative side.
Yeah, you better not be, because I
was gonna say, man,
you.
what? Who the fuck came up with Chicken Nugget Man?
That might be like the worst idea ever.
Hey, man, I just handle money.
Jeremy's look, I had nothing to do with it.
I'm trying to wrap my head around this right now.
I'm not a creative.
Superheroes. Are you sure it wasn't just straight up comedy?
No, it was fucking superhero, and they give you like a prop you have to have.
Serious?
And this year's prop was chicken nuggets, so they came up with chicken nuggets.
But that is like
I know.
That is literally like the prop, right?
But it's like, what am I gonna say? Like, oh, that's stupid. I can't say that. I'm not creative.
You pretty much said it without saying it, so.
Well, yeah, well, I'm not going to say it to his face like, "Oh, I think this is a stupid idea."
So who was the creative side on this project? Bill Sabub or what?
the director and the fucking writer.
That's a build above fucking plot line right there.
Yeah.
And his sidekick, Potato Chip Girl.
Fuck, man, this can't get any worse. Are you sure it wasn't?
These aren't even like funny, creative.
Yeah, man. If this was comedy, this is failing at comedy too, man. This is just hilarious.
Hey, man.
So how long did it have to be?
Like 7 minutes.
7 minutes? I mean, I guess I could handle that for 7 minutes. I mean, really, it's not too bad. I guess.
I'd rather just make a fucking short about a depressed clown who wants to kill himself.
That sounds better to me.
I mean, at least that sounds legit because I think most clowns are depressed because they're fucking clowns, man. You know.
Yeah, well, they have
up in that outfit
a fake smile on, right? That's the fucking whole concept.
Exactly. They're just fucking miserable ass people. I'd be miserable too with those fucking size of feet, man. Fuck that.
And then I
walk around flippers on your feet, man.
And also during that week, I've been working on a feature story for journalism, and on the record, fucking journalism sucks. I fucking hate it. I absolutely hate journalism.
Coming from the guy that's a complete news junkie.
I'm a news
bum. He's like,
but like, no. Like what I do on the site, on the website, that kind of writing I absolutely love because I feel like, especially with my writing style, I feel like I'm having a conversation with my reader. It's very casual. I'm just shitting the breeze to my audience, but journalism is all fucking professional and you have to follow a certain style and
you have to interview people.
Yeah, and I hate that, and it's not for me. I'd rather just stick with my.
You got to interview like 21 ventriloquists in 1 week.
Yeah, I did.
That is way too much. I mean, I can't take those people serious, man.
Was there any awkward ones?
Did you do any in person, or do you just do them by phone or whatever?
Yeah, I was wondering that. See, I thought you was doing them in person.
See, if you were doing them in person,
21 ventriloquists in Chicago.
You know for a fact that at least 1 or 2 of those ventriloquists was answering the questions with holding that doll, and he was doing his act.
He was.
Just that fucking weird.
It's like, do I have to?
He knows he can't even see you, but he's doing it anyways because he's just weird.
So, did you ask any of them if they saw that episode of Tales from the Crypt?
No. Why would I ask that?
Because that's a good question.
Yeah, it's an icebreaker, dude. You'd be like, so, have you ever seen the episode of Tales from the Crypt?
I would ask if they see magic before Tales from the Crypt.
You're not a true fan. You're not a true fan.
What's wrong with magic?
I don't even know what that is.
Really?
Magic is a great film, actually. Magic is a good film.
Definitely.
I agree. It's a good 70s oddball film. It's good shit.
Yeah, so journalism sucks. I hate it. Sticking with filmmaking, that's for me.
Yeah, that's probably the route I would take too.
Yeah, and
journalists, I'm not a big
more
fan
pretentious than I am.
Well, yeah,
they fucking sit behind their computer screen and they don't talk to people. And then, at least filmmaking, you talk to different people and you collaborate and like you join together to make this overall product. Journalism is you just sit by yourself, being fucking a pretentious loser. Ugh.
Unless you're doing like big cases like in the movies and stuff, but generally journalism is, going to dog shows and reporting on the winners. And well, in this case, in this day and age, every dog wins, So JP's laughing. I can hear him. Fuck. So what's going on, JP? How'd your week go?
Ronda lost. We're not going to talk about that.
Oh yeah. Woohoo. That was the greatest thing ever. Ronda Rousey the queen has fallen. Long live the preacher's daughter, Holly Holm.
I'm officially the fucking stupidest person in the face of the planet right now. Before the show, I was saying to everybody, I was like, you know what? Ronda Rousey's going to lose tonight. And they're like, oh, it's because she's being all cocky and shit talking. I was like, well, maybe a little bit, but I think that
she's always done that.
Well, and I was like, but she did seem a little off though when she started the shit in the at the weigh-ins and stuff.
Yeah,
I was like, that's a little interesting.
Yeah, she seemed like she was almost about to cry. It was weird when Joe Rogan interviewed her. I was like, what?
Something seemed off, and then I started, just kind of thinking about it and stuff, and I was like, man, she's going into a fight where this girl, she can fucking stand up and fight like she's the best at this. And so the only way that she's going to win this fight is she takes her down. If Ronda Rousey takes her down and does her game and not try to play Holmes' fight. And, if she does, she's going to get knocked the fuck out. And guess what happened in the second?
But Ronda tried, though. Ronda tried to take her down and win the clinch battles. Holmes was, like, stronger than her, and that surprised me, dude. I was fucking mind blown.
Yeah. She tried, but ultimately failed. And
she got knocked the fuck out.
And got knocked out exactly how... I mean, I wasn't expecting that type of amazing high kick. Like, I mean, that was like Shawn Michaels.
That's the only way I thought she was going to do it, dude. If you know anything about Home, I've been watching Home since she was in Legacy Fighting Championship on the regional circuit. She got that hard head kick, man. She was a kickboxer. Yeah. A lot of people don't know that. She was a professional kickboxer as well as a boxer.
She's got the body for it because she's tall and lanky. She's got those long legs. She's got a long reach, so she's great for kickboxing.
Yeah, she's legit, man. But I think Rousey, I think people were giving Rousey too hard of a time, dude. That chick has more pressure than any human could even ever imagine. Mm-hmm. Like literally 1% of the population, less than that, will ever experience what she has experienced. All the talk shows and all the radio shows and all the huge Jimmy Fallons and everything, dude. That chick has the most insane life. Like you can't fault her for.
Yeah, but how do you think Punk's gonna feel when he comes fucking out?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess.
Well, he's hurt.
I've been hearing some stuff about him lately.
He's hurt.
Yeah, he didn't have to have surgery, which is a good thing. But I'm looking for him to make his debut in July at UFC 200.
Yeah, but do you think Ronda's gonna come back at UFC 200?
I do. I think that's where the rematch will be. That's not what I want to see happen. I would rather see Ronda rebuild herself, go out, take another fight, have Home defend her title against Miesha Tate, and then whoever wins, you have that rematch either way with Rousey. But I think they'll do the rematch right away. And I honestly think Rousey is the most elite athlete when it comes to mental and physical attributes. And I do think that she has a great chance at winning a rematch. Like she is mentally stronger than almost anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she was a bitch when she got off the airplane.
Well, she didn't. I mean, she didn't want a bunch of people taking pictures of her face. She had.
That's just natural, man.
She had to actually have a plastic surgeon come in, and her lip was split wide open.
That's insane.
Crazy, man. Yeah, that kick was fucking unreal.
Yeah, I had a great time.
Crazy stuff, man.
I bought a bunch of food, fucking watched the fights. That was super good for a great end to a terrible week that I had before, dealing with suicides and fucking exterminate. You guys have.
Yeah, what happened with? Oh, you tell me.
I mean, you want to know?
Yeah,
know? I do. It's a little bit of a story.
Okay, hey, man.
Okay,
it's kind of related. It's bloody. It's on a horror podcast.
I was at work and I heard a coworker yell "Down 911" over the walkie, and I was like, did she just say "Down 911"? It was like kind of weird. And then she sounded panicked. She's like JP, down 911. And I was like, what the fuck? And I just like ran out of the thing. And then she's like, she just kept talking over the walkie. She's like, come to the third floor, And I'm like, oh shit. So I ran up there and I went up the stairs and ended up on the opposite side of the hall that she was. And I seen that there was like a figure on the ground and her standing next to it. So I ran down there and I see that this dude, and he's laying face down with his hands out in front of him. And I seen that he looked, his pants were like covered in something, and I was like, did this dude like shit himself? Because his pants were all brown and stuff, and I was like, what the? I thought it was some drunk dude who like fell and hit his head. That's happened before. And then I got closer and I was like, that's blood. And I start looking at this guy, and he's just covered in blood, like head to toe. And I didn't even realize it was blood because it was so dark. It was almost black. Like it was starting to like coagulate and it was getting stringy and shit. It was nasty, dude. And I'm like, oh my god. I started panicking, I'm like, what the fuck do I do? And other people started running up the stairs, and I'm looking around and I'm like, yo, what the hell are we supposed to do? And at this point we had already called 911, and I ran over to a cart where we keep gloves, and I grabbed some gloves because I didn't want any freaking blood on me, you know what I'm saying? And I'm looking around at everybody, I'm like, yo, like this dude's gonna fucking die, like what's wrong with him? And then I see one of my other coworkers notion to me and do this like thing where she ran her finger across her wrist, and at that point I knew like, oh shit, dude like tried to kill himself. And I look down and I see his wrists are just like leaking this thick blood. Like it's not even bleeding like hardcore anymore, but there's just puddles of blood around his arms, and I'm like, oh my god. And I'm looking at everybody. I'm like, we got to do something, yo. And nobody's doing anything. And I'm just like, what the fuck? I have no idea what to do. I grabbed some towels and I just bent down. And I started wrapping up dude's arms. And I was holding it. And then another coworker came over and grabbed one of his arms and like just put pressure on it. I just put pressure on his other arm. And then a ambulance finally got there about 5 minutes later. And the other coworkers were like talking to him like, buddy, you're going to be okay and stuff like that. It was fucked. And they get there, and I'm holding on to his wrists, and I'm like, yo, what am I doing? And the paramedic was just like, just stay there. And I was like, okay. And I was just standing there holding his wrists with towels and shit. And then one of the paramedics came over and lifted up the towel that I had on one of his wrists, and I got a good look at what was there. And I swear to God, dude, I've never seen something like that, dude. Dude's meat was like hanging out of his wrist. It was so thick to the bone, and it was both arms. Both arms were cut to the bone. And
that's wild, man.
The paramedic started wrapping one of the wrists, and I was like, yo, you want me to let this other one go? And he's like, no, just, hold on to it or whatever. And then eventually they got to the other wrist. And then it cost us $6,000 to get a cleanup crew in there because there was just blood everywhere. Like, it clogged the drains. We had to get new drains. Like, it was so bad.
Well, did he die?
No, he didn't.
Man, that's truly incredible that he didn't die after doing both wrists that deep, though.
I know. That's
really, really crazy.
Yeah, so that was like the start. That wasn't even the start of my week. That was like already bad things had happened that week. And that was just the middle of my bad week.
So my question is, JP, what would you rate that horror film?
Honestly, gore-wise, it was pretty awesome. Like some of the coworkers actually was having like nightmares and shit the next day. They were pretty shooken up.
Yeah, man.
Wouldn't you have nightmares too?
I didn't have nightmares. I actually slept great. I kind of forgot about it for a second, and I was like, oh yeah, that happened yesterday.
Of course you slept good, man. You were the one running around doing all the damn work. You were fucking exhausted. You needed some rest, man.
Yeah, but I was just like, I always I think of the future, and I was just like, if this guy fucking dies, dude, I'm gonna feel like shit if I didn't do anything, if I knew I could have done something. So I was just like, I'm gonna just try something, and I don't know if I really had an effect on him or not, but I at least wanted to attempt something in case he did.
Well, I mean, he didn't die, so maybe you did.
Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Yeah. That dude, seriously, like, if you're gonna kill yourself for real, like, future reference to anybody out there who's planning on doing it, first, call a suicide hotline and talk to them. Second, if you really, really want to do it, like, do something that's not gonna fuck up someone else's day. Like,
jump off a building.
That's gonna fuck up someone's day.
Well, how are you not gonna fuck
somebody got to clean
up?
that up.
Yeah, man. Think about those poor people that got to clean that shit up.
Hang yourself, take a bunch of pills or something. I don't know, man. Just
call the hotline. We're not trying to condone suicide here.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Call the hotline, get some help, because just always remember, someone's got to clean that shit up. It's not fucking fun.
Yeah,
that sounds of it. So,
yeah, that's pretty shitty.
Oh, by the way, don't tell anybody about that.
It's classified shit, eh? Nice.
How the whole world knows.
Well, your week was definitely... Well, your guys' weeks was more interesting than mine. I did fuck all this week except for be sick and watch a couple movies. That was it, man. I did shit, man. Really, really nothing. So, I guess we'll just move right on. Why we're all here. Episode 63.
No, I'm going to leave. Peace.
Episode 63, week 3 of the Italian Horror Month, and today's director spotlight is Michele Soavi. Yeah, probably, in my opinion, one of the most underrated Italian directors out there, and it's probably mostly due to the fact of his filmography is not huge.
It's 4 films,
but it's solid.
How many many horror films did he make?
I think he directed 4, like 4, and then and everything after Cemetery Man, I believe, is just Italian TV films, and which is really strange too, because after he did Cemetery Man, he really just kind of dipped into all these type of genres like drama and thrillers and comedy and war, and he dipped into everything except for horror, and I don't really understand it. But we'll get to that talk of Cemetery Man later in the show. So, but JP, we got some news.
Yeah, we do. We don't have that much this week, but as always, we will talk about what we do have. First up, I thought this was some fantastic news. I think Moodz would also think this was some fantastic news. This one kind of flew under the radar. I didn't really see many sites. I didn't see any sites posting it. I just seen it on Facebook, which I probably should have put it on our site, but I didn't yet. Horror's Hallowed Grounds, Sean Clark, one of my favorite special features out there. This started as a article in the Horror Hound magazine where Sean Clark would visit these historic horror locations and do comparisons of what it looks like now from what it looked like in the film. And he eventually started doing them on video, which I thought was so fucking cool. And he started years ago, and it was just as like a fan project, and then eventually it made its way onto some special feature DVDs. I think Texas Chainsaw was one of the first ones, and of course he went on to do one for the first 2 Scream Factory releases, which was Halloween 2 and Halloween 3, and he's done a few more. There you go.
Yep.
And he's done a few more throughout. He did The Fog, and I think he did The Howling, and he kind of slowed down a little bit. And then when the box set, the big Halloween set came out, he did a few more for some of the other Halloween films. And he actually just recently said on Facebook that he is currently in production on 5 brand new episodes of Horror's Hallowed Grounds during 2016. The only title currently announced was Creepshow, which is going to be part of Michael Felsher's Just Desserts documentary. The others will be revealed, officially announced by the powers that be, so they'll probably be Scream Factory ones. And he also goes on to say that he will be returning to doing it in the Horror Hound magazine as well. So great stuff from Sean Clark. I'm a huge Sean Clark fan. The dude has done a few different commentaries. He's mostly a agent for actresses such as Jamie Lee Curtis. He was He was the reason that she did that 25 Years of Terror, or what was it? The 30th anniversary? I can't remember.
Yeah.
That he was one of the primary reasons that she did that. Like, the dude is he was in Tales of Halloween recently. Moodz, we've seen that. The dude's all over the place. He's very ingrained in horror culture. And, I love that Horror's Hallowed Grounds, dude. It really is. I think it's the best special feature that
on the 35th anniversary.
Yes, you're 30. Correct. Yeah. But I think it's the best special feature that is like a reoccurring feature.
I'm curious on the Creepshow. Is he going to be doing just 1 or 2 locations, or because Creepshow has, 5 locations, 5 shorts, right? So there's a lot of different locations. I wonder how he's going to do that, because that's got potential to be quite a long episode. It's almost like 5 in 1. It's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. But
it's kind of cool, man.
Yeah,
kind of cool.
That's pretty cool. Then after that, we have a thing that I did read. I think Zach posted it, where apparently Scream Factory announced some new flicks, which we'll talk about in a minute. But they apparently, it's the Curse films, apparently they are in an aspect ratio that is unpopular. I don't know what the word is.
Yeah, it's like 20. It was like 237, right?
I'm seeing 1.78.
Yeah, that's like or that's what they're gonna release them as.
Yeah, instead of 2.35.
Yeah.
2.35 is the So, and my question is why?
Well,
why release them?
This is the problem that I have with everybody who instantly hates on Scream Factory, because the fact is they only have what MGM gives them. This is an MGM title, so it's not like that they're just oh, we're gonna fuck the fans. No, it's just that's what they're working with.
No, it's not about that. It's more of the fact that why wouldn't you just try to put out the best quality release? Just people knowing that, it's well, fuck, man, this isn't even the aspect ratio it's supposed to be in. There is people that really do care about this shit. It's not just hating on Scream Factory, in my opinion. It's just why wouldn't you just try to put out the best possible product that you could? They don't have to release Curse 1 and 2. It's not a big deal if they don't, right?
Yeah, but I want to see Curse 1 and 2.
But you can get the double DVD pack for fucking $2.
I want to see it on Blu-ray.
I got it, man. And it's just but I'm just saying, if you want to put out that elite and stay an elite, force in the media world, start putting out those elite.
So you
products.
want them to go Criterion?
No. Just at least put the right fucking aspect ratios on their discs.
It's simple. I just don't feel if it's not available,
I just couldn't see Criterion doing that, being like, well, fuck,
they're
man,
not,
we're just gonna
because
release
Well, they
they're
fucked up fucking Dressed to Kill.
But they're an elite company. They go for
nobody's perfect,
the Lamborghini
right? I mean,
of Blu-ray companies. You know what I mean? Like they strive for greatness. Like Scream Factory is just a retro label and contemporary label. It's not really like I don't think they ever.
Fucking Jeremy just fell off his chair there, man.
Yeah. It's the sand in
But
my
you know what I'm
vagina.
saying? It's
the
not...
sand in my vagina is
See, but I would rather have something than nothing. Like I will always rather have. Why not have it released? If that's the only way to release it, fuck it, release it. Why not? I mean, why is it better? Is it better than not being released?
Well, the thing is, it does have a release. I mean, on DVD or whatever. But
on
I mean,
Blu-ray.
at least you could. Yeah, I know. But you can still see the films. That's kind of the thing.
Yeah, but I'm saying, is it better to show people who might like? I didn't even know about these films.
Sometimes I don't want to see, like, I'm not saying this is a full ass, half-ass product that they're going to put out and stuff. I'm not going to go as far as to say that. I'm just saying, from Scream Factory, I do expect, like, hey, you're going to do some new transfers, let's get the right aspect ratio for the film.
Let's just wait and see how the release is when it comes out.
Well, exactly. But I mean, if that's what they're claiming, people get a little fucking butt hurt about it and stuff like that. I mean, personally, I don't really think the aspect ratio is going to hurt the overall product too much. But
I just don't give a fuck about it, honestly. Like the aspect ratio, I don't even know the difference.
And that brings up my other point that I was going to say. It's like some people just don't care about that either. So you got half people over here that don't give a shit, and other people really do give a shit.
I just don't know what it is. Like I don't know that stuff, so that's why I don't give a shit. Just because I'm ignorant to the situation. But I just to me, it's always just like So you're like sometimes the argument is like, well, let's just not release it then. It's like, but why? It's still better than nothing.
Mm-hmm. But okay, so my mentality
it's like having
for
Ghost
me,
House, not Ghost
for me,
Town
it's like, well, fuck, I mean, I can't remember. The DVDs I think actually are in full. I can't even fucking remember. But it is an upgrade for me, and I guess the way I look at it is I want to see that release be an elite.
Yeah, well, you're looking for a reason for your upgrade to not suck. Right?
Yeah,
like you just don't want to have to upgrade for
which oddly enough, I actually watched Curse 1 and 2 a few months back just randomly. Like I actually popped in that double feature. That's really strange that they're actually announced that. So
yeah, well, you can get the Cursed 1 and 2 on DVD for $8. I'm sure by the time that this Blu-ray comes out, I'll be able to get it for $10, like down the road, which is what I normally get them for. So I don't really see. I mean, it's all right. And honestly, I just brought this up, but I am reading other people say that no, that's not the case. So who the fuck knows? Honestly, like Scream Factory hasn't commented on it or anything, so we'll see. But
what's that, Jeremy?
Just wait till it comes out.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, we'll know the official specs on it before it comes out because Scream Factory always announces that stuff, right? This is. Yeah, what we call speculation right now.
It is on their site. Well, the reason it's not 100% speculation is because that's what's listed on the website is the one that people don't want.
I'm gonna laugh if it's just a fucking typing error.
That's what
someone just accidentally wrote in the wrong thing. Fucking someone's reporting on it, just getting all butthurt, making us report about it on these podcasts and all that other shit. It's pretty awesome. Well, thanks for the conversation. Whoever fucked up there.
Yeah, good press.
Okay, so moving on from that, we have like the total opposite of that type of thing. And this is once again Arrow proving why they are the best in the business, in my opinion. At least for, I guess Criterion is, but I mean, Criterion's just in a league of its own. You know what I mean? Like, you don't really compare it to other things. So apparently, the new film that they've been wanting to release for a while, The Mutilator, has gotten delayed again, but for a good reason. So apparently they were looking for the uncut footage for a while, and they just kept pushing it back, and they found different elements that were literally just off pieces of the film, like literally the cut pieces that they had to cut for the MPAA. I believe they're called offcuts, and they were going to use that. Long story short, they ended up in the final hour before they were actually going to go through with the release. They found out that there's a print that is completely pristine, barely used at all at the Library of Congress. They were able to get the both director's permission.
And why is that movie at the Library of Congress?
There's a lot of movies at the Library of Congress.
I was just gonna fucking say that too, man. That is too good.
How do they not know about it?
Well, they do. The thing is that is honestly a source for a lot of like uncut prints and stuff like that. But the problem is it's all like legality. Like, first of all, you have to find out who, like, you have to get permission from like multiple people, like the people who donated it or not donated it, but like put it in there, then the library themselves, then the director, like all this different shit. So that's why often it's really difficult. Like, a lot of companies do try to go there if it's available there. So that's basically pretty cool, because I guess it has like all the uncut footage and stuff. So they're gonna insert that into the film, and that's probably the best reason to delay a film ever.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking awesome, man. So when this film eventually comes out in its fully uncut glory, you know what's gonna happen?
Delayed.
We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time. You guys don't get the joke because you haven't seen the movie before.
I know. Was that the one you watched on your marathon?
Yes, that was the very first movie that me and Dylan watched, and we were fucking rolling. From the opening song in this movie is so funny, and it's just all happy and shit, and everyone's dancing around. It's like the beginning to Three's Company, for fuck's sake. It's like a stupid sitcom. It's so funny.
Yeah, I do remember that.
But the song is, and that's me and Dylan were kept singing it like the whole marathon. We're like, hey, we're gonna have a good. It's fucking awesome.
Gonna have a bad
That's a great opener, huh?
Yeah, it's so good. It's so funny to watch. But that's what Dylan commented today. He goes, yeah. He goes, well, this is worth the wait because they're going to have like another 9 minutes of the opening sequence. I'm like, fuck yeah. It's too good.
That's what's up. So moving on, Sean S. Cunningham.
Oh, my best friend.
Cunningham.
Exactly, yeah.
I haven't heard the Cunningham in a while.
Yeah, so
my best friend.
So yeah. Sean S. Cunningham was at a horror film festival in New York City along with Steve Miner, receiving, I believe, a Lifetime Achievement Award. And there he was asked, hey, would you ever consider revisiting the House franchise? And Cunningham responded by saying, I'm doing it right now. We are deeply in development. And they say that they've been working on a new House film, but it sounds more of a remake to me. They said that they were trying to do it again, but how could they make it a little bit different? And they decided that they're going to do a gender swap. So instead of a male character, it's going to be a female character. And yeah, they say that they want to really stick to certain elements of the personal story of, William Katz's version. And then, yeah, so they want to make another one. And I guess they currently are making another one.
Well, isn't that just odd? He's just working on House. That's pretty awesome.
Why not?
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of House, and I think it really works because of like William Katz's performance and just that character. It's like a really kind of comedic film, but I don't know. It'd be weird with a chick. I'm not sure it'd really be the same thing.
Have you got around to watching the horror show? Yeah, by
No, I still haven't watched the horror show
because that one's actually dubbed as House, Part 3.
Yeah.
Right, and the UK has like House 4 release, whatever. But yeah, horror show, that movie sucks. So just wondering.
Have you ever seen House 4?
Yeah, I own it, man. I have the UK import.
Yeah.
It's got this one really fucking funny pizza scene in it, and it just makes me howl. It's so silly and stupid, but it's pretty funny. It's way better than Part 3. Just put it that
I love House 1 and 2.
Yeah, 1 and 2 are great. They're fun.
All right, so moving on, we have Sinister 2 hitting DVD and Blu-ray January 12th, 2016. So that's another one that I'll probably miss for this year.
So many problems.
Yeah, probably.
That sucks.
Yeah, I actually really like the first Sinister. I know that you're not really a big fan of it, Moodz, but
I was being super sarcastic. I'm like, I'm going to miss Sinister 2 before the year-end show, but it had all the possibility in the world of making my top 10, maybe top 5.
The first Sinister is a great film.
Ethan Hawke, terrible casting.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he was believable in the film at all. I don't know, man. I think Ethan Hawke is a really, bad actor.
I don't even know who that is.
He's the lead in the film.
He's not bad in the before movies.
He's one of those guys that I just don't find believable in half the roles he plays.
And have you seen before movies, man?
What's that?
Before Sunset, before Moonrise, and before the Linklater movies?
No, I haven't seen it.
You gotta check them out, man.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everything I've seen, I'm probably in the minority on this one, but I don't know. I just don't find him strong. And in seeing him in that role, I was like, okay, this role doesn't seem to. I know. I think me and you talked about it too, Jeremy, one time, but it just casting that type of name in that type of role just comes off odd to me, and it doesn't.
The Purge, fit. I think he just did it for executive producer credit.
Yeah, I don't know. It just
to be honest,
you know, the storyline's okay in it, but. It is what it is.
I thought it was pretty dark.
I thought the Canal was actually a better film, but that's just me. I think that was when I reviewed on the podcast sometime last year or whatever. Or maybe, yeah, it was last year because it was from last year. It was a good film. So,
Sci-Fi Channel is working on a thing called Channel Zero. It is a limited anthology series from Hannibal's Nick Antosca. He was, I guess, the showrunner, the director, writer. I can't really remember, but he was part of Hannibal. This is going in fast track development. They are looking for 12 episodes and will air in fall 2016 and fall 2017. Part of the 31 Days of Horror programming event. Not really much about it out there, but it's supposed to be like an anthology show, so that's pretty cool.
I'm sure that we'll report on it, 40 or 50 more times before it comes out.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. So after that, The Visit is finally hitting DVD just in time for the year-end show, which is December 15th. This is coming out on DVD and Blu-ray, and actually on demand January 5th, which it's usually oh shit, never mind. That's right, because the world fucking sucks. It's actually coming out digitally first, and then in January it's coming out.
Okay, what movie was this?
The Visit.
Oh, The Visit. Yeah,
which we've already seen, so we're good. But I'm just saying, It annoys me because this is it seems like all the titles that are coming out like late are hitting digital in like December, and then disc in like January, which just grinds my gears.
Yeah. What?
The Visit, I think we both liked it pretty good, right?
Yeah. I actually thought it was a lot. It surprised me. Let's just put it that way. It surprised me because I'm not a big fan of the director at all.
I'm not.
And to be honest, I never really seen the hype in a lot of his films. I mean, I wasn't hating on him because just because of the hype and shit. I just didn't really care for the films that much. And this one took me by surprise. I was pleasantly happy with the end result in this film. I think he did a good job.
I never seen somebody who collectively the world was like, this guy is amazing. And then now collectively the world agrees all that like, yeah, I'm not a big fan of him. Like everybody says that now. Like nobody's like, M. Night rocks. Like literally everybody now says like, yeah, I really don't care for his work. It's so messed up.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
So after that, we have Scream Factory title. They announced Zombie Fight Club, which I don't really know what that's about. It's a contemporary film hitting DVD and Blu-ray February 2nd. Doesn't look very good. Yeah, it just looks like an action movie to me, which instantly turns me off.
I thought it looked awesome. No. I think
honestly it wouldn't surprise me.
Where's it from? Is it like a Taiwanese film or something like that? I wonder what the original title is, because it can't be fucking Zombie Fight Club. That's like the American title for it. Well, like, I mean, seriously, why give it that title? It's just laughable. How can you take that shit serious? Even though it's probably not supposed to be serious, but really?
No, it's probably just gonna be like another zombie comedy.
No, it's definitely a zom-com, but Zombie Fight. Fuck.
Fight Club 2 is the original.
It's a bad title. It's a bad
title. It at least has like an okay tagline, which I'm sure has been used probably a bunch of times, but it's "You only die twice."
Yeah.
Because they're zombies.
Exactly.
So after that, they did announce another IFC title. This one, honestly, I was super stoked for this one based on like the promotional art and stuff that came out earlier in the year. But I actually have read a few reviews, not actually read reviews, but just read the final score and stuff. And it does seem like people are saying it's disappointing, and that is Hellions.
Mm-hmm. I've heard some good things about it.
Yeah, that's good. I haven't heard.
Yeah,
I literally haven't heard any good things.
I haven't heard anything about it. Period.
No, I heard a couple of people say it was pretty decent, and I've heard some people say it was the worst shit they've seen all year. So, but then again, it's
That's
hard to
crazy.
take. It's hard to take, when someone says the worst shit they've seen all year, because they could have seen like 4
I can't
2015
even take
films.
that
So
type of comment seriously usually, because I know that it's probably extremely over exaggerated literally 90% of the time.
yeah, exactly. I just don't see how the movie. I mean, I guess I can, but I'm curious to see it though. I mean, come on.
It looks cool as fuck. I'm down to check it out for
Hellions, man. It's Halloween shit, man. So I don't know. I'm excited. I was really shocked that IFC picked it up though. I was like, that's awesome.
I think I reported that a while back, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Yeah, maybe. But that's
Who
cool.
else would pick it up?
And then of course Scream Factory. That's part of our deal. So now we got to pay $10 more for it.
You know what's funny is we wasn't doing the show at this time, but Scream Factory did announce that they're working on their first like actual production, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Did we?
On the Argento show.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
So any leaked word on exactly what kind of subgenre that they're dipping into?
It's a horror film.
Well, no, I know that. I meant subgenre of horror films. Like, is it going to be a fucking zom-com?
It's
or is it going to be
by
a
the
ghostly?
title. I forget what the title is, but it sounds to me like a killer car movie or something.
Killer car movie? That shit awesome.
Or like a duel type.
Fucking rights, man. That's totally not what I was expecting. I was expecting either a zombie film, a zom-com, a ghostly, or I don't know, anything but a killer car film, pretty much.
Yeah, it's because it's called Fender Bender, right?
Fuck, really? That's just so awesome. They're
It's a funny title. Fender Bender.
It sounds like a comedy, actually.
The one thing that I'm actually excited about is the director.
Who's the director?
The director of The Night Flyer.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought
interesting.
they would have picked some new school cat, right? But it's actually somebody who, like, is a little older.
And apparently really, really fucking starving to work. So he's like, I'll take this job.
For $8,000.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Well, he hasn't done anything since The Night Flyer.
Really?
Well, just put it this way, man. I mean, this movie, Fender Bender, can't be any worse than, like, Alien Outpost or some of the other fucking bullshit that they've released. So it can be.
I'm hoping it
could be.
All right, so finally, moving on, we have 2 more announcements from Scream Factory, 2 of which we've already talked about, and that is The Curse and The Curse to the Bite. And the other one after that is Millennium and ROTOR, which I have no idea what either of those films are.
What the fuck are these movies?
Do you know, Moodz?
No.
What the fuck do they come from?
The 80s.
Yeah, I know that, but it's so random.
I love when we see like the dude. Honestly, like I swear to
those
God,
are my
man,
favorite though.
I'm liking the double features more now than I actually get excited for like the IFCs or the regular editions. I like the double features and the collector's editions. Those are my shit.
Yeah, me too, man. Honestly, they've released like a lot of double features, and it's nice when you have them all in the collection because it's just like it's cool. They look good together.
Yeah,
you know, and there's quite the variety of double features. So if you're in a double feature type of drive-in grindhouse mood,
grab that Scanners 2 and 3.
Yeah, and exactly, you go straight to the bathroom and wipe your butt with it because they're not very good. They're shitty. They're fucking shitty.
Oh, come on, you like the worst films and you don't like Scanners 2 and 3.
No, I don't like the worst. Well, maybe I do.
Dark Hall. Do we have to bring up Dark Hall?
Mutantis.
I never said Dark Hall was
17 Trauma films.
Hey, don't be judging Trauma before you fucking... Man, honestly...
I listed off to you like 22 Trauma films that I've seen one day. I've seen some fucking Trauma movies.
Mm-hmm. Well, honestly, man, oh, fuck. Dude, speaking of Trauma, they seem to be releasing even shit now that I can't even appreciate. Like, some of the movies that they're putting out, dude, I'm going, what the fuck?
Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies?
Like, yeah, dude, that shit's...
Is that a Trauma?
Yeah,
it got picked up by Trauma. Yeah, but
they've terrible.
Honestly, a lot of their newer releases, I would say in like the last year, have been really fucking bad. Even shit, I'm not telling anybody I bought that shit, man. It's
and
like...
I took like me and Moodz took major shit when Pro Wrestlers vs. Zombies first came out, and we said how much it sucked.
Yeah,
Everybody's
man.
like, it's just a goofy movie. You just don't get it.
No,
It's
it was
like, no,
bad
it's fucking
though.
bad.
It was bad. I wonder if
Sucks.
Trauma at all like kind of cleaned it up a little bit, because remember like there was like audio and like other issues when we were watching that director's,
DVD.
Is that the one I have now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
So I'm wondering like if it got cleaned up at all, because wow, it was pretty bad. But yeah, rest in peace to Roddy Piper.
Yeah, I spent $20 on that shit.
You know what, Moodz?
It was the only thing you walked away with that time.
I know.
Before we actually get out of the news, because that was the last piece, I did want to just throw this out there. I forgot to do it in the intro, but Brandon is actually hosting a contest, and it's a written story contest. If you guys want to enter, head on over to the Facebook group page, find out the details there. Basically, you write a short story or a long story if you want, and yeah, me and Brandon will judge the best one, and Brandon's gonna send you some stuff.
My screenplay is gonna win, bitch.
So yeah, I mean that's pretty cool, guys. Anybody out there feeling, you don't even have to be good at writing. Just enter. Jeremy will be the only one to make fun of you.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay, I never did look at the actual specs and stuff, but like, is there a certain length that like, or does it have to be like under? See, it should be like under 500 words or something like that.
Well, I'll tell you right now.
No,
if
that's the
story
point, man.
Is very long, I'm instantly not gonna like it. So
because I have a lot of, when I was doing, my English classes and stuff, I wrote a lot of shit, and you used to have to write things like that had to be under a certain amount of characters, and so I'm sure you had to do it too, Jeremy.
Yeah.
And it's hard, man. It really, really makes you think, and it makes you kind of fucking
edit this story
beat around your
600
words and shit.
words to 250. It's like,
you know how hard it is to write anything under 500 words. Like I can write, in just my opening line could be 500 words. Yeah, I never can shut up, and it's fucking hard, man. So, the point I was trying to make is that if you're gonna make these things really long, it's kind of unfair to someone that's gonna write a short one, but like real sweet and stuff.
Because if it's very long, I'm gonna think that it sucks. So, just saying it right now. I don't want to be sitting there for 4 hours reading a story.
I should just fucking dig up some of my old stories and just submit it. Not even rewrite it. None of them.
But Brandon is a judge too, so he will.
Yeah, he's a Jew too.
Maybe
so how many people are actually signed up right now for this? I just don't have the dedicated time. Yeah, I just don't have the dedicated time. So are people picking their own letters now, or is it a random?
Pretty much. I mean, they're all kind of up for grabs. I kind of made Dave Z take Z because fucking what? Like, seriously? Your name's Dave Z.
I'll pick O if I could turn in my screenplay.
Go ahead, dude. I don't care.
I'll pick O. O for open road.
I'm gonna make you lose just because I don't like you.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding, dude.
I don't care.
I'm gonna be very unbiased.
My story is very original, okay? I think it's a cool fucking vampire movie, so fuck you.
Okay, I believe you.
Sweet.
Cool. And fucking pitching it all fucking semester.
So that is the news, guys.
Alrighty. Yeah. All right. Yeah, not much news this week at all. Moving along into Moodz Swingz and the DVD and Blu-ray releases for November 24th, 2015. Wow, man, November 24th. It's like a month till Christmas. Crazy.
Yeah.
That's some crazy shit. The Jews like, fuck Christmas.
Fuck Christ.
It's like, I can't wait till fucking Valentine's Day so I can buy my girlfriend. Oh, wait a minute. You don't have one, do you? So that's disappointing then too, isn't it, Jeremy?
I know, because my girlfriend just hated licking the sand out of my vagina. So
that's 69, man. That's bad.
Oh, yeah, she was just... My legs were over my head like that girl on Chatterbait, and she was just... Sand was just coming out of my vagina. I spent all my money last weekend. So what you're saying is you actually drowned your
girlfriend in sand. She's dead.
Yeah, I spent all my money last weekend getting the sand sucked out that I just...
I heard that is expensive, man. That's a procedure.
I know, man. It's fucking an abortion for sand.
Jesus.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I like it.
My legs were up there and was sucking it out, man.
An abortion for sand.
It's a sand abortion.
Dude, that is the funniest thing you've said in a while. All right, so...
Oh, wait. You know we were talking about that Flesh for the Beast a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
I went into Best Buy and I flipped it over and the fucking Shriek Show label's on there.
Yeah, what the fuck is up with that, man?
Yeah, I was like, I turned it over. I was like, why the fuck is this Shriek Show label on here?
So like, even Shriek Show thinks that they're... So even they think they're shut down, and some dude's like, nah, man, I'm keeping this shit alive right now. What the fuck?
Makes no sense.
It doesn't make sense. It's so crazy. Yeah, strange. So anyways, DVD and Blu-ray releases. First one, of course, being a month before Christmas, no better time than to release A Christmas Horror Story.
What? You don't say.
On DVD and Blu-ray, and this is being released by Image.
Holy shit. How long ago did I review that thing?
It was a while ago, man. Yeah, it was a while ago. I was surprised that I guess they were probably holding off until the season, right? Makes a little more sense.
There's not that many movies this week.
But I had no idea that Image was releasing this. It was weird. It just kind of took me by surprise.
I actually knew they were releasing it.
I had no idea.
You can check out my review of A Christmas Horror Story on episode 57. I thought it was a pretty decent review, honestly. So if you're curious, before you check it out, I don't spoil.
Man, that's another one. I've been hearing a lot of mixed reviews. I know you said you didn't really care for it too much.
Wrong. I gave it a 7.5.
Oh, that's right. You did. That's right. I was thinking you gave it like a 5 or 5.5 or something like that.
That was like Tales of Halloween. I told you, this is the better holiday anthology this year.
That's cool. I'm not 100% sure, but when is Blood Rage coming out? Anybody have a release date on that now? Because they just upped it to the 3-disc.
December 16th.
Is it December 16th now?
Yeah.
Okay. So this was supposed to be I think the second release date for it, November 24th, but that is not coming out. So everyone's disappointed, including me. Scream Factory is releasing Ghost Story from the best year in horror film history, 1981. Yeah. It's a great film, man. Really, really good stuff. I reviewed this one on my 81 series a couple years back. Fun stuff. Can't wait to see the transfer on that. Actually, I hope it's good.
Oh, is that a Jason Mewes movie down there? Oh shit.
That's Wild Eye, I believe, right?
Yeah, this movie right here, of course, from Wild Eye releasing is, Wild Eye always has multiple releases coming out every week, which is just insane how much they've been releasing. And this one is strictly called Hole.
Like JP's butthole.
Yes, like JP's stinky.
They made a horror movie out of your butthole, JP.
But really, like even the cover art on this just looks shitty.
I don't know. The mask looks kind of cool.
Really? I don't know, man. It looks like fucking some fat dude with. I don't know, man.
Hey, man, don't judge a cover by its cover.
Wait, what?
Its cover. I don't know, but it is wild. So you never know. It could be actually pretty good. And that's
they're releasing my Professor's film in 2 weeks.
That's the weird thing about Wild Eye is that like you really can't judge a book by its cover sometimes. Some of those movies are actually decent, and
it's
the ones that look
fuckload
shitty,
of Scotch tape.
A fuckload of Scotch tape.
Yeah, it's coming out from Wild Eye in 3 weeks.
That sounds very strange.
It's a film noir musical. It's weird.
A course from Wild Eye. I think Wild Eye is releasing this one too, and it's called Acid Bath. It's got wicked cover art, man.
Yeah, that is cool cover art.
I'm assuming it's some type of melt film or something like that.
It's like a video nasty-ish type of movie.
Actually, the editorial review here on Amazon says a twisted and disturbing gore fest like Street Trash meets Death Wish. Is that orgasmic or what? Street Trash meets Death Wish.
What's this Bread and Circus movie that's coming out? It looks so fucking weird too.
Awesome. I think it's Half Breed.
No, it's Bread and Circus.
Oh, I was reading. Okay. Next one here. It's being released by Worldwide Multimedia.
Yeah, this cover's terrible.
Half Breed. Rise of the Nephilim.
This is like a Navy movie.
That one, I don't know. That one just looks really bad, but you know how it goes. I don't know why this is on here. It's saying The Pit and the Pendulum is being released on DVD because maybe they didn't have the DVD release.
I think that it might be one of those like alternate covers or something.
It probably is actually. Yeah. Same with the subspecies here.
Yeah.
Oh, the 20th subspecies being released, of course, Full Moon, the 20th anniversary dish tune.
I bet you there's like nothing new on the disc.
Why is it spelled like that?
I don't know. Edith tune.
But it's not spelled like that on the cover.
Dude, you know what's crazy as shit? Angus Scrimm is in subspecies.
Yeah, that is.
Isn't that? I always forget about that. He's only in it for like 1 second, but he's in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Jason Mewes movie that that Jeremy was so patiently waiting is called The Last House, of course, being released by Wild Eye again.
I love me my Jason Mewes.
Yeah, this cover art, man, it's just they're taking it back to like the late '90s. It's just got all the heads on the cover and it's very generic.
Melissa
looking.
Rose is up in there though.
It's Mr. Muse. Gotta check it out.
Well, and here's I'm assuming this is our ghostly for the week here. We got one called Haunting at Forrester Cabin.
Oh, this looks like an asshole.
Actually, no, not Forrester, Foster. Haunting at Foster Cabin.
John Savage.
And it's that typical cover, man.
And it has the chick from fucking The Exorcist.
Oh, yeah. Look at this cast.
Linda Blair.
Oh. Aline Dietz.
Yeah.
Okay, that is.
She's played the demon face. God, know your history, JP, you fucking asshole.
You don't even like The Exorcist.
Yeah, but I know who she is. I met her at Cinema Wasteland.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, aren't you
That's
a
right.
fucking nerd?
Damn straight.
From Scream Factory, and this is one that I've been anticipating for ever since they announced it, because I didn't really know much about this one, and it's the very first release, I think, ever of this. I don't even think this was released on VHS, oddly enough. I could be wrong, but...
I think you're wrong.
No, I'm probably not wrong. I'm never wrong. But Blood and Lace, of course, coming to Blu-ray DVD combo pack from Scream Factory. Yeah, available for the first time on home entertainment format. So I'm assuming this is the very first actual release of it. So
I think they've
1971
done that twice now, which is pretty cool.
1971, man. So we got some early 70s goodness here, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. I know my homeboy Zach was like, fucking beating his shit off when that one got fucking announced.
I just wish they wouldn't fucking flood me with releases. I was just catching up.
Yeah, those fuckers, right? And we got one here from Kino.
Which is just the thing with two heads. It's the same fucking movie.
Yeah, the Incredible Two-Headed Transplant. I know. What the fuck?
It's the same exact fucking movie.
With optional riff tracks. Okay. So that's pretty interesting, guys. Thank you for re-releasing that.
No, it's not like the same movie. It's just like the same idea as the thing with two heads.
Oh, is that what it's? Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this. Yeah. I think we got some more of those somewhere, don't we?
There's one called The Badger Game.
The Badger Game, yeah.
Which looks... I don't know. It looks stupid. And that's like all I have.
I think there's one also called... I think The Mask is coming out from Kino this week.
Is that a horror movie?
Yep, The Mask is a... I believe this is actually one of the first Canadian horror films, actually. I want to say.
I thought it might have been The Mask, with
No. This movie's actually pretty good, man. It's like in the 3D format. I don't think the whole thing's in 3D, but and then we got one called Natalie's Loose Loose. What the fuck is with this cover, man? It's like one of those, gas mask cover arts, but it's called Natalie's Lose Lose. What
kind of title is that?
Exactly. What the hell kind of title is that? It's like the strangest thing from Chamois Media Group. They're just making shit up, man, along with these titles.
Starring Natalie Victoria.
I mean, really, if you see this in the store, man, you're just gonna walk right by and probably turn back and laugh. Because how could you not? It's Natalie's Lose Lose. It's like, okay, sure, cool. And then, of course, lastly, probably maybe a horror film. I don't know. From SGI, we got Reichsfuhrer, SS, some Nazi exploitation. Fuck yeah. That's some good shit right there. Love my Nazi exploitation, man. Shit's sleazy. It's always a good time. I'm sure Jeremy's just like, yes, I got to get that Reichsfuhrer SS.
I don't love it. I can handle it in small doses. But some of them are so bad though, dude.
Yeah, some of them are so
like the one where the guy gets his penis taken away.
Oh my god, dude! I literally had to pause and rewind that part 4,000 times. What are you doing with my penis? The fucking best shit ever, man. Oh, it's so good. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the DVD and Blu-ray releases for November 24th. Yeah.
What is your release of the week?
My release of the week has, I mean, this is really a no-brainer, man. Natalie's Lose Lose. I mean, that's looking pretty damn sweet, man, I gotta say. Now, unfortunately, I haven't seen, A Christmas Horror Story, so I can't recommend it because I'm just blind to it, But I'm going to say for this week's release of the week is going to be Blood and Lace, because who doesn't want to have a film that's never been released on home media before? You got to get that.
I agree, man. I think that is a great release of the week because the whole concept behind this is if you're going to buy one, which one do you buy? And honestly, the one that's never been released is the one I'm buying.
Exactly. Yep, got to have that film. So
good pick, as usual.
Yeah. All right, so moving along into voicemails and questions. I do believe that we have a couple voicemails.
Yeah, we do. I guess we're doing voicemails first, then written questions, correct?
Sure.
Right. So first up, we only got 2 this week. First up is Brandon with a short one.
Hey guys, Brandon calling. Hope everybody's doing well. Fulci show was amazing. Looking forward to this week's show. Quick question about the top 10. Looking forward to taking part in that, and I was wondering what the deal is with certain films that might be not considered horror. Films like Turbo Kid, some of the artsploitation films like The Treatment. If we could just elaborate a little bit more on that, because there's a couple of films that would probably be in my top 10, but I might leave them off because they're not strictly horror.
Me too.
Even films like Killers and Gunwoman. So just a little bit more clarification on what we're going to qualify as horror films. Other than that, that's it. Knock 'em dead. Talk to you guys soon. Later.
All right, so that was Brandon asking us a question. So there's a few different ways we go.
Hi, Brandon.
Yeah, you're not calling at work for once.
So
I love you.
The first easiest way to decipher what is horror and what's not is to really go to IMDb and just see what it's listed as. IMDb always has what they consider the genre. For example, The Treatment is mystery thriller, which I would agree with that. I wouldn't consider The Treatment a horror film. It will not be on my top 10 list, even though it would had it been a horror film. You know what I mean? It's a high enough scoring film. That would have been my number one. Yeah,
I really don't like the idea of following IMDb too much, because sometimes
because they do get it wrong, in my opinion. Sometimes you're absolutely
right. I've seen some of those things that have been completely wrong before. I'm like, what the fuck? This is supposed to be a comedy? No. So
you also have to consider, is it sci-fi? Because that, is it if it is like a dark sci-fi, I kind of consider that horror. Like there are some sci-fi films that I for surely consider horror, and you have to also look at the comedies, right? I mean, those are all those horror comedies are more comedy than horror, but we still throw them in the horror category. Like he mentioned an interesting one, Moodz Gunwoman. Is that eligible for your list?
I don't know, man, because I know a lot of people had that on their list from last year. I of course never seen it till this year, so in my opinion, it kind of qualifies. But then again, I don't want people going, "Well, this fucking shit was available last year."
I mean, blah, just blah. In terms of genre wise.
Oh shit! I was just going off on a tangent there, wasn't I? I was just going way off in left field.
Talk about sand in your vagina.
Yeah.
You should get a sand abortion.
Well,
next.
the thing is though, I lump a lot of things into horror. With like exploitation and things like that.
I think exploitation is very close to horror, so I'm with you on that. If it's an exploitation film, it's a horror film to me, where it's right there next to it.
Yeah, because this is kind of like an exploitation, like revenge film, and I think those type of genres fit in there. So yeah, I would consider Gunwoman as a choice that could be allowed.
Yeah, and as for what Moodz was kind of elaborating on is the like what is considered timeline wise. I say anything that is available widely, meaning and obviously I'm talking about the US here. If you can rent it in 2014, then it does not qualify in 2015. However, Gunwoman will be a contender on my list because it didn't get a wide release until 2015. It did like festival circuit. It did not have a wide release in 2014, so that is
this is a really complicated subject right here because there was a couple of films that were widely available digitally in 2014 for Americans, and up here I had no way of seeing some of these films. So when they came out on media in 2015, to me, even knowing that they were, available in 2014, but to me they were like 2015 releases as media releases. That's why I kind of wanted to change the way I did things and just have, something was released on media in 2015, even though it was available in 2014 digitally, it still qualifies as 2015. It's just because of where I live. Sometimes I don't have these options.
Yeah, you mess everything up.
So it kind of limits.
He's fucking Canadian. What do you expect?
Now I have a bunch of films. Now I have a few films that didn't make my 2014 list, which probably would have if I had seen them in the appropriate year, that really aren't technically, eligible for 2015. So now they're caught in what I call that list limbo.
Like the battery.
The battery happened. It never made it 2014 or 13 or 14 or whatever, and it was one of those films. And there's a couple from last year, that Gun Woman being one of them. And if we're going by this, not Gun Woman, but Girl Walks Home Alone is the one I was trying to think of, and that's a perfect example, because if I'd have seen that last year, it would have made my list. I never seen it till this year when it came out from Kino, and it's not really technically a 2015 film, but where do you draw the line here? Like, I
say no, man. Obviously, I'm not going to include it because it was literally on American Netflix last year in 2014, and so I'm not going to consider it. If you want to, I guess. I'm not going to say you can't or anything.
But if you were in my position, you'd be like, what do I do? It's a lot more complicated, right?
There are ways around that, man. They're not legal, but there's ways around that.
No, see, I don't fuck with that shit, man, because I'm a good boy. I don't download. No, I don't have the patience or I don't have the fucking patience.
Yeah, he doesn't have 150 megabytes a second like I do.
I was mainly talking about like Netflix. Like, you can live in Canada, and there is a way to get American Netflix.
Yeah, it is, but it is a bitch. I have PlayStations. I don't have the Xbox. Apparently, you're a lot easier to do.
I'm not familiar with it, but
just buy everything.
Yeah, I understand what you mean, dude, but the only problem I have is I almost feel like, since it is me and Jeremy, I almost feel like maybe, I'm not saying you can't do it, but maybe try to just cater to us a little bit and kind of mold your list to ours a little bit more, because my only problem is I don't want, say, Starry Eyes or something that you couldn't get to end up on your list this year, and then it conflicts because I had it on my list last year, and it just kind of gets messy when that happens. You know what I mean?
What I did, though, is I did on my list I've been keeping all year, I have marked on certain movies released in 2015, and what I know that means as a legend is that was the media release. It was available in 2014, so they are not eligible, and that's how I am going to do it.
Okay, that's awesome, dude. And you know what? If anything, though, at the beginning of your top 10, you'd be like, look, these films right here were ones that probably would have made my list this year had I been allowed to choose them.
Yeah, exactly. I'll have that disclaimer because
that's cool.
Because there is, and A Girl Walks Home Alone and Starry. Those are two films that are great examples that never made my shit last year. That are limbo. They're fucking,
I would probably have that on my list if I would have watched it.
Sucks,
yeah, and it does suck, dude, because it really is unfortunate that we have these huge differences when we're so close. We're so close to each other in terms of U.S. and Canada is literally right there, and yet there are these just insane differences in media releases, and it's really frustrating, especially for us. We do the podcast, it affects our top 10. It's really shitty for you, honestly. You have no option to rent stuff at all up there. I don't understand the digital.
I don't understand the media, the digital world up here, man. It makes no sense. We get nothing, dude. Nothing.
Yeah, we can rent anything down here. Anything you want to rent. There's 7 sites that can rent it to you.
Not Cemetery, man.
Yeah. That's just one of those titles with mad rights issues, though, Yeah. And, back to what Brandon was saying. Brandon, I mean, the best way to do it is to just really kind of look at your list and be like, okay, would other people consider this a horror film? Is this close enough to horror to ease into my list? There was one 2 years ago in 2013 that I had trouble with. It was Stoker. Stoker would have made my top 3. But I felt like it wasn't a horror film enough, so I excluded it from the list.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's an interesting...
I do. Yeah, and I guess that's one of those things where you just have to make an educated guess. I don't know, or decision.
Yeah, you just have you have to personally what is your limits, because let's be real, Stoker is not a horror film. It's just not, but it could be considered dark enough to be in a top 10 horror films of the year. Same thing goes with, some of the other films like The Treatment. I wouldn't hate on somebody for putting The Treatment in their list. It's just personally, I think it's just outside the range for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Like something like The Samurai, I would probably include. It's
what about Horsehead?
Dark. Yeah, Horsehead for sure. That's a fucking nightmare.
Oh, Horsehead is just a fucking. It's literally like a nightmare.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the debate is there. You can take any of these titles that are on the edge, and you can debate them. You can debate them up and down, left and right, and honestly, everybody's probably going to have a different standard and stuff. So, the key thing you got to do, Brandon, is just ask me, because I pretty much make all the decisions when it comes to that stuff. I'll tell you what's right and wrong.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, so I hope that answered your question, Brandon.
Alpha male.
By the way, Brandon alluded to the fact that we are doing a consensus top 10 on 22 shots of Moodz and horror. Guys, seriously, I'm hoping we get a lot of participants. I think this is really cool. So the way it'll work is I have my top 10 list, Jeremy has his, Moodz has his, and then I've put together all of you guys is combined into one list, like one list that kind of really shows what the general public, at least general consensus of the group was for the top 10. So if we get I feel like we need 25 to 50 people to really see clear-cut winners there. So please, anybody, I don't care if you watched 15 films, 10 films, 25 films, or 100 films like Brandon, just make me a list, start sending them in from now till I would say a little right after Christmas, because I need a couple weeks to get it together and stuff. But please do this. I'm begging everybody. I think it'll be so cool. And you guys agree? You think that it'll be cool to see what the group comes up with?
Yeah, I think it'll be really cool. I just hope a lot of people out there get to see the editor or watch the editor.
Yeah, just start renting like crazy, guys. Go hard. I mean, there's a lot of newer titles on Netflix as well. Do whatever you have to, except for don't steal it, because that's just wrong.
Yeah, think about me whenever you steal. You take money from a future Jew.
All right,
and we don't have enough money as it is.
That's sci-fi Jew. Ooh.
Me and Brandon need all the money we could get.
Fuck, you guys already have all the money in the world.
Well, when you keep spending money on fucking sand abortions, you could only have so much.
This is like, dude, sand abortion is better than fucking chicken nugget, man.
Yeah, well, it wasn't my idea.
The film about sand abortions would have been so much better.
Hey, man. I
could still have French fry side girl or whatever, because that shit is just funny.
Potato chip girl. Hey,
all right, let's move on, guys. We got another voicemail to play. This one is from Lawrence.
Hey, it's Lawrence. I'm just calling.
Hey, Lawrence.
Hey, thanks, guys, for talking about the whole subject of serious horror films. I think that it was a really good topic, and I do have to agree with some of the things you guys were saying. I'm just hoping that serious horror films will be spawned, not if they can be spawned, but will be spawned in spite of whether there is a national tragedy or not, because I would prefer to see some more as well. But as for this week, I do have a question which I think you guys will enjoy, because last week's podcast you announced that Mystery Science Theater 3000 is trying to get crowdfunded. My question is, what kind of movie would you like to see them actually put on the show? It doesn't matter if it's open domain or not, just any movie that you would love to see them do. I personally think The Frighteners would be really good for them to use. I think there's plenty of scenes where they could insert their own humor into that, and there is lots of good scenes that they'd have plenty of material for. Anyway, have a great night, guys, and thank you for discussing that topic. Bye.
Okay,
Children of the Corn 2.
Lawrence. Before we actually get into that, I do just want to give an update on Mystery Science Theater. It actually has surpassed its goal.
Already.
2,372,000 out of the 2 million with 21 days to go.
Dude, you knew it was gonna meet it. You knew it.
Like,
dude, if you listen to the podcast, Jeremy, I was watching it go up as I was talking about
I bet you would watch it now. Or would you see it go
it was
up?
crazy. It went up like 5-6 times in like a minute.
But you knew it was gonna get funded.
I'm so happy about that. That's really cool that it's coming back.
I'm a bad person. I have all them.
No, you're not a bad person. Those things are expensive as shit.
Lawrence, really, really great question.
You're right.
So what kind of films will we like to see on this round of mystery? Yeah,
Children of the Corn 2.
Children of the Corn 2.
That's a great one, though. I'm telling you, that's a good one. So if we're free to choose like anything
the Mississippi
without public domain and shit like that, and I think that's a concept here that they're gonna try to reach out and grab a few more popular.
$2 million.
I think that's probably a thing that they're definitely trying to attempt to do. And there's so many out there. I'm gonna throw Pumpkinhead 2 out there. Pumpkinhead 2. I think that'd be a fun one.
Pumpkinhead 2. Nice.
What do you think?
I don't know, man. I would like to see like Toxic Avenger
3.
Oh yeah. Toxic
Which
Avenger,
one?
That's a good one.
Night of the Demons 3.
Night of the Demons, but yeah, the Toxic Avenger.
Some Full Moon maybe. I think there's a lot of Full Moon that you can make fun of pretty good.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome too. Wouldn't it be funny to like, just have like the most serious film on there and just go to town on it? Like, I mean, would it work?
Halloween.
Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think I'd like to see a blend of like well-known films, something like Halloween. I don't know about
Crawl
Halloween.
Space would be a good one.
Which one, Jeremy?
Crawl Space.
I was leaning towards a little more like something foreign. You take a foreign film and then you start throwing in some rips in there and shit like that. I think that would be really fun.
Something like Crawlers or something, right? Like the Contamination 7.
Yeah, that's great. Like Breeders and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like those type of films.
Those films, yeah, for sure.
Killer Workout.
I would love to see Death Spa on there. That would be fucking awesome, man.
Maybe Deathbed.
Deathbed, yes.
They could probably
anything with death in it.
Yeah.
Deathgasm, Deathbed, Death.
What about seeing like the Gates of Hell trilogy on there? Do you think that would be? Do you think?
It
just
could be
too
funny.
Serious?
It could be funny because how just random.
But there is no man. In like House by the Cemetery with the dubbing of Bob and like the other little girl in the film and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
but if you want to see bad dubbing, fucking watch the church dub.
The church dub isn't that bad.
It's pretty bad.
Watch House by the Cemetery. That one's worse.
Oh yeah.
No, just on the kids. Just on the kids.
The church.
But that film's notorious for that. That's not like, ooh, holy shit, that dubbing's bad. Some of the ADR, on the church, but.
Yeah, but really the potential is unlimited, man. There's so many films out there that even like the public domain ones.
This is kind of where I was kind of getting at, though. Is that I wanted to see them.
God, Brandon, you attention whore.
Completely get away from. I understand they're probably going to have to continue along with the public domain films because that it is what it is. They're free, right?
I think they'll have a mix. They might be able to pull some strings with like.
So I would like to see a mix of like some of these older public domain films, and I would like to see some foreign films. Some more serious ones where they just kind of they put their own goofs into there, and some newer ones like. Well, not newer, but like American goofy films like Breeders and shit like that, and like even some slasher films and like I don't know, man.
I'm actually really excited because I kind of missed the boat on this when it happened. I remembered seeing like re-airs on Sci-Fi Channel back in the day, but like I never actually got to really like watch these, so I'm really.
I've only seen them online too. Yeah, I don't think we ever got them. I think we talked about this before. I don't think we ever got them though. I could be wrong.
I believe didn't they start as like a public access thing?
I would assume so. Yeah, it would make sense. Public access show doing public domain films.
Yeah,
can't get any fucking cheaper than that.
It's like a Spangoolie.
Honestly, it's ahead of its time, dude. Like
3.
Any of them. Ghoulies 1, Ghoulies 1 and 3 and 4.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ghoulies 2 is actually a good movie.
Ghoulies 2 is a good film. It's by far the best one in the franchise.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Any of the witchcraft films.
Ooh. Oh my god.
Witchcraft 17 with Chauncey Phillips.
Ugh.
And what movie won?
Jaws 4.
Ooh.
They would never get Jaws 4, just saying. But
Oh, Jaws 4, man.
That'd be fun.
Warlock 3.
So
yeah.
there's one thing in common with all
Bruce
this.
Painful.
There's
Jalapeno.
Warlock 3, yes.
Yes, man.
There's one thing in common with this though. These are all retro titles we're naming, and I do want them to stick with retro. I don't think that it plays well with like newer films. Right?
Yeah.
I'm excited, guys. I really am. I'm genuinely excited about this.
Should be cool. It's fun.
I agree, man. I'm just blown away that they've managed to, not only, get their goal but surpass it by now, and it's just keeps going up. That's
$2 million is a lot of money, man.
Who knows, man? The more money they get, man, maybe they can get some of these films.
Yeah, well, they even said like the more money they get, the more episodes they're going to do. So I mean, it's a cool campaign. It obviously has a huge fan base. If anything, this is going to actually help them too, because then they'll be able to go to a producer and they'll be like, "Hey, look, this is how many people want to see this. You want to throw some cash in."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good stuff. This is why I like crowdfunding.
Oh, it's got potential.
A lot of people hate it, but this is
quite something big, though. I mean, you already got like 2.3 million right here. Why not, take it to these guys? They can throw in some of their fetty.
I'll tell you right now,
cheese. Man. You got a big production, man.
There's a few different ways this thing can go. They can shop it at a TV network, like a Sci-Fi or a Chiller, or they can go like the Netflix route.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be actually kind of cool. Netflix.
Yeah. Or Amazon.
Netflix.
I think it would work. I mean, everybody has access. It's cheap. You get lots of fucking views. Oh, yeah. I think that'd be good.
Yeah, speaking of Netflix, where the fuck's the new Pee-wee movie?
Oh, God. All right, moving on. Moodz, I believe you have
that's why questions.
I said
it. Shit. Yeah, what did we have for questions? Shit, I lost him. You have to make
Moodz lost the question, so while he is looking for them, if you guys do want to send us any questions, you can do that at 22 shots of moodsandhorror@gmail.com. Jeremy, do you have a personal email you want to throw out there?
No, because I don't need people sending me dick pics.
Actually, dude, I swear to God, no lie, I actually got a dick pic in that email. I swear to God, I was so confused. I was just like, how does this happen?
I don't know.
I don't know
hate me as it is.
That, but seriously, someone sent our email a dick pic.
People hate me as it is, like I said, so.
Yeah, shit, man. Okay, I got it here. I accidentally closed it out by accident. So we had a question here on the on my channel on the video, so which you don't really get a lot of questions on here anymore. From Hogwash, since you mentioned Friday the 13th, what are your thoughts on the upcoming video game? Well, I guess still a year away. Any interest in it? Yeah, of course, man. I mean, most recently, like I don't really play a lot. I haven't played a lot of games, I should say, in the last couple of years, but just recently I've been getting back into it because with the son, he's just old enough where he can, he can play games. I play card games with him and stuff. And I've been getting back into it. I was playing Red Dead Redemption the other day.
That game's fucking awesome.
I love
and,
it.
I was just
Great
loving
ending.
it. It was just really, it just kind of got me back into it. I was like, fuck yeah, this is awesome, man. I was like, shit. So I'm really stoked for this now.
Get a PS4 and play Until Dawn, man. You're gonna love that shit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just really enjoying it. So really good stuff. So yeah, I'm stoked, man. I can't wait to play it. Actually, I'm gonna pick it up.
I think
You
it's
have to
really,
get a PS4 because
That's okay. That's okay.
I think it's really cool, just based on the fact that it looks like the Jason we know
multiplayer
and
game.
love. My only thing is, I honestly don't think that the concept of like the slasher in a video game works very well. I know Jeremy said that one game was really fun and stuff.
Yeah,
It's like a novelty thing to me.
Mhm.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's just like, kind of disposable, cool to see. It's really neat, but it's not going to be a game that you're going to keep playing over and over again, But yeah, I mean, I'm totally.
But what I
down.
think is what they're trying to go after is that it's a multiplayer game. You have like 10 people playing as the campers and one person playing as Jason, and the person playing as Jason goes around and try to kill the campers, and the campers try to survive. I think that's what it's kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
from what I read on it.
that could be cool.
Yeah, that could be
Well,
like.
we'll see how it goes. I mean, we're definitely interested. I mean, shit, that's my
I mean, really,
favorite franchise.
I could just handle being Jason Voorhees walking around in the bush, and with a huge machete and just hacking off chicks' tits. I mean, that would be the best video.
Oh, you're
game.
already in the bush, so.
Yeah, awesome.
We all know how much Moodz loves the bush.
Yeah, the 70s bush, man. Yeah.
And the landing strip, because according to Moodz, he likes to eat them off.
Oh,
why not, man? You got to change it up a little bit, you know. You can't be predictable and shit and just going straight in there. Yeah. So next question here we got from Dave Winmare. I enjoy discussion on horror comedies. Thank you. One horror comedy I really enjoyed this year was a movie called The Final Girls. Have you guys seen it? And if you have, what are your thoughts on it? Thanks. No, I have not seen The Final Girls yet. I haven't picked it up because it's just way too expensive up here. Like, ridiculously expensive. You guys seen it yet?
Nope.
Family video pickup.
Yeah, I think that's probably what Jeremy's going to do for sure. No, I unfortunately haven't, but I've heard nothing but good things.
I haven't bought anything at
Apparently
Family Video in 2 months.
That's crazy.
Because there's just nothing to buy.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah.
And then we got a comment here from Jacob Thompson. It says, buying from Code Red is like spitting yourself in the face. Thank you for that. That's fucking hilarious. I think that's so funny.
Yeah,
Fuck,
see that?
Fuck Code Red.
Yeah. More with the Code Red fucking bashing here. You know what? Maybe I got an email here basically kind of responding to the Code Red rant I had last week, because I kind of went off about just something that Bill had posted about taking away international post or shipping again, because, you know, he's getting all fed up with bullshit and stuff. And I just gave my 2 cents on that. And here's a response from Electric Cools.
Which is probably just Bill himself.
Which that would be fucked up.
No, because this one's way too nice, and I think it's written decent with decent grammar and stuff. So, you know,
unlike JP,
definitely not Bill, because I actually read his post word for word last week, and it sounds like a 4-year-old wrote it. So
listen, when you start an email by saying, "I just wanted to defend Bill a little bit," you instantly get a little nervous when somebody says that to you.
Yeah, man, I was like, okay, yeah. So the first line, I just wanted to defend Bill a little bit, and I was like, holy shit, this guy's gonna give it to me raw. I can't wait for this. It says, I understand the whole ordeal with international orders. It is a bit ridiculous that he won't learn how to properly ship things internationally, but I honestly think this shouldn't make people boycott his releases. You know, I mean, that's up for debate,
well,
right?
He steals.
Well,
so.
No, honestly, the reason people should boycott his releases isn't just because he won't ship it internationally. It's because he's a bad businessman and he's a shady guy.
Yeah, I think that's the bigger picture here. It's the fact that he is shady, and you know, I mean, he just looks shady too. Have you ever seen what Bill looks like before?
Yeah, he looks shady as fuck.
He does, man. He totally looks like that guy that you don't want your fucking 5-year-old son going.
He's like a sleazemeister that is stuck in the 70s.
But you know, I mean, that's just getting off on a tangent though too. But he really does look the part.
Weird.
He does look the part. So
he's kind
also
of
there's
though, honestly.
Also, there's more factors that has affected his decision to stop shipping internationally. There is a lot of lost packages that get lost while being shipped internationally, as well as people who don't have the patience for, don't have the patience amount of time Bill takes to ship things and do PayPal chargebacks and
pause.
stuff.
Listen, people, that's not a problem. It's not a problem for people not to have patience. That's the customer, dude. That has no effect.
That doesn't exist here.
Yeah, who cares if the customer doesn't have patience? That's part of the problem. That's Bill. Bill needs to fix things so that they don't even have. Who cares if they don't have patience, right? That's part of it. That's part of being a salesman. That's part of having your product out there. There's gonna be people without patience. You have to cater to them. That's just how things work.
Exactly. That's how good business people run. You know, like give your
whether
customers
it's warranted
what they want.
or unwarranted.
Make them happy so they come back. Don't fucking shoo them away like mice.
Yeah, even if it's warranted or unwarranted, lack of patience.
But it makes it sound so bad.
It's like matter.
An email here and there. Like, I've never seen Diabolic DVD ever post bad shit about their customers and blah blah. And I bet you they get emails. For sure they do, or he does.
It's
you know,
just bad
and
PR, man.
you know, it's just fucking. He's got people that are doing shit for him, and you know, you got to spend some money to make some money sometimes. Like I said before, so. he goes on to say he talks a lot about these things on the forum and even through social media post. It seemed like he's acting a bit mature. I think he's just frustrated with these type of things happening and costing him money. Well, of course.
Yeah, you're allowed to be frustrated, but don't go to social media and post it. You're not supposed to do things like that. And that's why I just feel like this guy is not. He's just not a good person at doing what he's doing.
But I can understand the fact of being frustrated and stuff, but the simple fact of going out and blaming specifics, he's blaming Canadian Customs for stealing Code Red DVDs and Blu-ray purposely.
He literally blamed Canadian fans before, right? Like, didn't he say something about you? Like,
I wish I had kept
Canadian
the fucking
fans suck or something.
He wrote me a response one time personally to me, and I was like, dude, are you fucking serious? He's like calling me down. He's like, you're a fucking idiot because you're Canadian, blah. You guys are all stealing shit, blah, blah. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking to, man? You stepped to my fucking face right now. Like, this is bullshit. He's fucking blaming a whole country because he's an idiot. It's not, people aren't going out of their way to steal shit at customs. That's fucking bullshit. It's bullshit. It doesn't work like that, man. Shit is getting lost, or he's not fucking shipping it, for one thing. Who knows? We don't really know what the thing is, but shit doesn't go missing like that.
And I'm sure it is hard, man. I'm sure it does suck when you lose a $50 order and it's gone. It's gone. You can't do anything about it, right? But that's part of business. Take it out. You can't take it out on the customer. You can't get mad at the Canadians. You can't take it out on a Canadian customer and say, like, you fucking Canada sucks. You just can't do that, dude. It's not cool.
No, man, you can't alienate your fucking customers like this, dude. It's like, fuck. All we're trying to do is give you money. Do you not like our money? Like, shit, dude, just work it out. All we're trying to do is, you're already overcharging for all these products. The transfers are shitty. The packaging is whatever. There's nothing special about Code Red. It's the novelty of it almost. It's like Code Red, holy shit, man, I need to get that. Everything's fucking limited in quotations, end quote. It's not fucking limited. We all know this. It's a bunch of bullshit because Bill is always finding these limited products a year and a half down the fucking road, and all of a sudden he's got a whole warehouse full of them. Dude, that is some shady shit, man.
Yeah, you're selling like your Charlie shit. Band now.
It's probably, I mean, honestly, it probably is limited. He probably gets 10,000 copies of something, and then he never makes them again. But he just some off to the side,
When he had that first run of Blu-rays that came out and stuff, they were all limited to 1,000 or 1,200 and stuff. And apparently there's still more, but he did say eventually that, he repressed up a bunch of these and stuff like that. So he did come out and say that. I think he might have been hounded about it a little bit because people were calling him out.
I think hear that's him what happened. Say people this as well. He said, I make something limited and everybody gets mad about it. They complain, they want it. So I get more pressed up and then they complain about that too. So yeah, there is situations like that. But my thing is, don't make it limited in the first place.
Yeah, just press up the shit, man.
Or at least don't. I noticed his products are obviously selling. Right? It's a sales tactic.
A lot of collectors go out of their way to buy this shit, man. He's always saying that he's not selling a lot of products and blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, bullshit, man. There's a lot of people out there that support him like fucking, like they're their own kid. So, so he goes on to say, either way, most of his new products arrive at Diabolic DVD, like The Strangers, and Screen Archives web store, which both ship internationally. So he goes on to say that there is ways of getting Code Red products from other places, and that's a good thing. And
that's cool.
And I do know people that have specifically, said fuck going through the Code Red store, and they go through Screen Archives and they go through Diabolic. And honestly, I had bought stuff from Diabolic, because there was a time period where he had stopped shipping internationally, and I did. I'd buy a couple products from Diabolic because they have a really good selection of international releases and stuff, so I'll grab them from there. And that is true, you can grab them from there. That's cool. I understand it is a bit frustrating if you want a Code Red Scorpion releasing title from his big cartel store and you are a non-US. Love that. But these are also reasons why his brother Walt, who owns Scorpion Releasing, stopped selling independently and just sends his stuff to Amazon Diabolic Screen Archives, does joint releases with companies like Kino.
Yeah, that's
or his will sell his extra stock off on the Code Red big cartel store. Makes sense. Honestly, Bill.
Yeah, when it gets too much and you can't handle it anymore, that's when you get somebody else to do it, like Amazon or these joint releases or whatever.
Makes a lot of sense. Bill has been taking steps to improve his business by taking some advice from his brother and putting stuff on Scream Archives. Despite all of this, I know Bill is a bit shady. So he goes on to say that he is a bit shady. And some of his practices of having ridiculous prices and not announcing Blu-ray versions of his old DVD releases ahead of time, which I have noticed. But I think in the end, he just wants to put out these hidden gems and make customers happy. Now, I agree with half
I don't
statement.
think that.
I agree that he wants to put out these hidden gems because he knows they're going to make money, but he's not about making customers happy because he doesn't give a shit about customers.
Because you don't see anything, literally anything in his history, in his track record that shows that he wants to make customers happy. The dude wants money, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I actually think that it's silly when people complain about companies being money hungry. They're fucking there to make money. Like, that is the point of having a company. So I don't have a problem with people wanting to make money, but I do have a problem with people pretending that they want to make the customers happy. No, they want to make money, and it's cool to do that, but this guy is not good at even pretending to want to make the customers happy.
Oh, yeah. Big time. So, yeah, and then he goes on to tell a story about he had a problem with this just before Dawn disc and Bill replaced within 10 days and stuff like that. And I have heard stories like that.
No, that's what's supposed to happen though, right? So like,
exactly.
You're pointing out something that should be the standard, but it's not. That's the problem. That is not the standard situation that happens. So that, like, it's good that happened to you, but it should happen to everybody.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, I've had, one really, really bad experience with him, and it was just like, it just showed every worst color.
That's the main reason I don't like him, because I remember when that whole thing went down with you, dude, and you told me about this stuff. I was like, this dude, this is seriously? Like, seriously, he went that far?
Yeah, dude. It was fucking crazy, dude. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man. So, I don't know, man.
Honestly, that was a well-written email, though. Like, dude did explain his points, and he has valid points in there.
No, he does. He really does. The thing is, I know a lot of people are just pissed, and they really don't want to fucking deal with them. And, it makes a lot of sense from all the shit that you hear and stuff like that. But when it really comes down to it, I know you guys will disagree, but I really it is really about the film with me. And, sometimes I don't really care where it's coming from. Like, I don't collect Code Red. Really, I don't need to have every Code Red release, blah, blah, blah. But they do have some titles that I'm like, fuck, man. Like, they got it right now. And, it seems like when he has a title, he's not letting that shit go very often. Unless, of course, he sparks up a really random deal with Scream Factory or something, and they release fucking Evil Speak or something like that. It very
did
strange.
That happen?
Yeah, that's where because Code Red had just released the DVD like a year and a half prior, or whatever. So you get that kind of weird thing. But I don't know, man. It's for me, it's just about the film, and I guess you just gotta roll with the punches a little bit and just be like, well, there is alternate options here, like with Screen Archives and Diabolic and stuff, and just kind of forget about it. And if you don't have to go with them directly, that's what I suggest. But I know JP, you completely agree. You won't try to buy any release because so
just the principle of it. I mean, honestly, I don't know much about the guy. Like, I just know what I've seen and what you've told me, and I don't know much about the films that he's released. I just don't even want to put myself in this situation where I have to deal with buying stuff from him. And they're fucking too expensive.
Dude, I know, man. Like, Blu-ray. So just for shits and giggles, I went on the Code Red. So this was like, just by chance, it happened to be like 2 or 3 days before with The Strangeness, and I think I told the story before, but it came out to like $45 after shipping and conversion and stuff. I was like, holy fuck, for one Blu-ray. I'm like,
Jeremy would have a heart attack if
do you take payments?
Code Red.
Do you take payments
couch cushions and shit like that?
Do you take payments of like fucking kidneys or something? Like, do you want an organ from me to pay for this and shit? Ridiculous, man.
But you'll buy them.
Oh no, I didn't buy it. I wasn't paying that shit. That's ridiculous. I want that movie, but I'm paying those fucking prices, man. So it happens.
So he does ask you one question at the end, I think.
Oh, obscure giallos. Fuck, dude, man. There's so many. One that really always comes to my mind that no one ever talks about is
You fucking smoking again, JP?
What?
Fucking smoking again.
Fucking smoking. Yeah. Is a Lamberto Bava film called Body Puzzle. It was released in 1992. And it's just, it's kind of one of those like neo giallo films. I mean, at this point, they weren't really making a lot of giallo films. Let's face it, right? And Lamberto Bava, of course, is known for doing Demons and Demons 2 and films like that. And hadn't really done anything too notable for a few years and stuff. And then did a film called Body Puzzle. It was released by Raro Video. I really recommend that one, man. It's a really good film. Definitely a hidden gem from the 90s. So, definitely give that one a shot. I think that's one really good film. So that's pretty much the one that came off the top of my head. So, but yeah, I don't know. Check out that one right there. I'll get back to you with some more. I'll definitely email you with some more. So, but yeah, thanks for the email. That was, it was good, man. It was really well written and, informative, and it's good for conversation. So thank you. Alrighty. Yeah. So thank you to everybody for the voicemails and questions. Awesome stuff this week. Yeah, again, never hesitate to phone or drop us an email or a question. Fuck, what an idiot. Give us a phone call. It's good.
You still fuck it up. Even when he tries to fix it, he still fucks it up.
No, I'm saying that purposely, man, because, it gets Jeremy fucking going. So, but yeah, dropping emails too. I mean, we never get emails, so that's actually quite nice to actually see your email and, of course, questions and stuff. But yeah, don't hesitate to give us a goddamn call. I don't know the number off the top of my fucking dome, so. Alrighty, guys, so no knowledge for this week, but if you guys out there have any specific topics you would like for us to discuss on the show, feel free to drop us a voicemail, drop us an email, throw us a question on the wherever, and we'll be glad to get into those, because sometimes we don't really have the best brainstorming to come up with knowledge ones, and this week is a perfect example. Didn't have really anything on the menu, so, but if you have anything, drop us a line. Alrighty, so moving into the morbid fact. The coroner's report of weird stats and morbid facts, courtesy of Rumor Magazine, and this one is coming from issue 146. That is July of 2014. It was the one with curtains on the cover. Yeah, when Synapse was releasing curtains. Dope. This is a really quick one. First thing I looked at, I was like, yep, that's what I'm doing. David Cronenberg's original title for his 1977 film Rabid was Mosquito.
Nuh-uh.
Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
That is interesting, because then and the reason why I said that is because, like, you think they would have actually called, or maybe, do you think they would have named the film Mosquito, the TV film?
How many mosquitoes are there, films-wise? Just the one?
I think just the one, just straight up called Mosquito. You think they would have come up with a different title if Cronenberg had named his film Mosquito, because chances are it would have been, well-known enough. Yeah. It would have been well-known enough. It would have been like, well, we're going to base this film about, giant mutated mosquitoes. Let's maybe call it something else.
There is one called Skeeter, and there's one called Mosquito Man. Also, I think, you know what? True. It does go under the title Mosquito, I think, as well.
Really?
Maybe.
Well, that's interesting. I know Skeeter. Yep. Interesting. Alrighty. So that is going to do it for Moodz Swingz, guys. And getting into what we're all here for. The director spotlight of Michele Soavi. Yeah. Yeah. Probably, like I said,
interesting director.
Yeah, like I said off the top of the show, he's a very interesting director, because he hasn't really done a lot of his own films. He was assistant director on a bunch of other films. I know that he worked with, obviously, Argento, and apparently worked with Fulci, and he worked with a lot of well-known Italian directors before he did his very first feature-length film, which is Stagefright, in 1987. But he, the weird thing is that he'd actually done a film called Dario Argento's World of Horror. It's a documentary that came out in 1985, and it was released by Synapse Films. And I've actually seen it before, and it's really, about that time period of Argento, because he was obviously in, his protege and stuff like that. And there's a lot of behind the scenes of like phenomena and things like that. And
87, man, this movie feels so much older than. It feels like it came out like in like 83 or 84.
Really? You think so?
Yeah, I don't feel like it feels like a movie that came out in 87.
I don't think so at all.
That's weird.
But yeah, so moving into Stagefright from 1987, also known as Aquarius. I believe this film has like 4 or 5 other alternate titles too. Also known
is one of the titles.
There's like a bunch of them, man. Like owl killers, things like that, But there's like a bunch of them, man. It's crazy. From 1987, the short and long of the synopsis on this one: a group of stage actors lock themselves in the theater for a rehearsal of their upcoming musical production, unaware that an escaped psychopath has sneaked into the theater with them. Yes, and now they're getting picked off one by one by someone in an owl costume.
With quite possibly one of the most annoying characters in late 80s history.
Which character?
And who's this annoying character?
The fucking short hair blonde chick. Wait, I have to look up her name.
I'm like the same way, man. I always forget characters' names too. I'm terrible at that.
Alicia?
You think so? One of the most annoying. Like, are you talking about the main character?
No, it's one of the guy's girlfriends.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know what her name is. I'm terrible with names, but...
One sec, I'll find it.
I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on this one? I know it's a first-time watch for you guys, so what are your initial thoughts on this one?
I wasn't overly annoyed by the character, first of all, but my overall, just first impressions was I dug it. I thought it was pretty cool. One of the things that I do like right off the bat that I think is of mention is the actual owl costume.
He likes to use animals.
Honestly, I was expecting, because I knew about the owl head thing, and I expected it to be like kind of a stupid thing like gutter balls, but it actually made sense because they're doing a play. There's this
Sybil.
Like, night owl
Sybil.
thing, and
It's
I was
that
like,
bitch.
okay. It fit why he had it on. It wasn't just some random ass thing that somebody found. It made sense.
It makes perfect sense because that was already in the film. It was already part of the play, right? So
Yeah.
why not utilize that? So it's not like they just came up with this just for the the killer's mask. But yeah, I always thought it
looks so cool, dude. It really does.
I know it really does, doesn't it? It looks
Especially like the eye shots, like the eyes, like are really illuminating. Like you can really see the guy's eyes through the mask. So I think it's really cool.
You think that Soavi got that from Argento and those early just really those focusing shots on the eyes and
Evil that, and like I think he gets like the animal thing from Argento too.
Oh,
because like all his films have something to do with animals in some sort of another, especially The Church. It's like it's straight up animal references. So I think he got that from Argento too.
One thing about this movie I love the way it starts with the I love the stage or the theme music for Stagefright, man. It's like this up-tempo jazz infused.
It sounds like a Pee-wee soundtrack.
Yeah, like the music is awesome, but it fits so perfect because it's kind of like that almost that like kind of pretentious, Broadway type music that you'd expect to hear in it, right? With that jazz, with the with the sax and stuff like that. I don't know. I just found the soundtrack was so fitting for what they were doing. It was just perfect. It's very artsy. It's a very artsy kind of infused soundtrack.
And I actually heard. This is a film that I've heard about for a while. I've seen different reviews on it back in my early YouTube days where I watched a lot of reviews, and I had always heard bad things about the music, so I was expecting to not like it, and then I was like, I actually really like it.
Yeah, I like it too, actually.
It's so awesome, man.
It gives the film a weird feel, and I think that the whole stage, the location, the theater that they're in, I think that lends itself to making this film kind of unique as well, and the music just fits it. It just, both of those two things work so well together.
Yeah, one thing I like about this movie is like the whole setup of it, like they're a Broadway, club or whatever, and they got to get this play done. They have to practice it because it's crunch time. They have like a week before their opening, and the director of this play is quite pissed off. Well, he's pissed off though too, because like everyone is not up to what he's expecting. Not everyone is up to his par and stuff.
He's your typical stage director.
Yeah, so he's pissed off, and he just wants to do a good job. And so basically, he's like, "Hey, we need to fucking lock ourselves in here. We need to get this shit done." And the thing I like about the setup of this film is that it gives you a lot of potential victims right away. It doesn't have that, that over cliched, kind of setup where there is like 4 or 5 people, and your body counts can be super low, and then it kind of infuses people.
Up.
Yeah, the cops show up, and then the paramedics, and then people start getting picked off like that. This one already sets the stage, pun intended, to have a lot of fucking victims right away, and it already gets away from that stupid ass cliche of bringing people in and okay, they're getting picked off, and what you see in a lot of in slasher films technically, so it kind of got away from that. I like that.
Yeah, and to
like that a lot.
Even to add to that a little bit, Moodz, I thought that it kind of broke the mold a little bit as well, with the fact that they really do kind of stick together for majority of the film, which normally people are wandering off by themselves, getting hacked.
Yeah, but that happens up. Too, though.
It does, but it also has them together a lot too, which you normally don't see in slashers, especially 87.
Yeah, where the hell did the gay guy go? And then he just like shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, those things are going to happen, I guess, right? Yeah. I mean, you have a lot of people in there too to keep track of. It's probably a little more difficult than you think. Your main character, Lycia, played by Barbara. I can never say her name. Barbara Kuptisi. I'm so bad with names. I'm sure Derek's just fucking laughing at him.
Kupisti?
Something like that, yeah. I always the one thing in this movie that always cracked me up is the setup that allows her to go to the mental institution.
Yeah, she has a hurt ankle, really?
So she hurts her ankle, but I just love the fact that the closest place, because they're under distress, right? Like the director's pissed off, and they're not even supposed to leave. Like he doesn't even want her to leave and go get her ankle checked out. So their idea was, let's just find the nearest hospital, and it so happens to be like a mental institution or a mental hospital.
Yeah, my only thing with that, I thought it was really stupid that that's why she left, because what did she plan on happening? Like if her ankle's broken or if it's sprained, either way, they can't really do anything for it. Like you're pretty much just bowing out at that point of the thing.
I always just kind of assumed that she was going there just to get it checked out. Okay, is it cool? Like, can I continue, kind of thing. I never kind of got the impression that she was like, okay, I'm gonna go there and have her hope that it's all fucked up so she can get out of there. I don't really get that impression of her character.
No, and I didn't get that impression either. I'm just saying, to me, it just seemed pointless for her to go anywhere, because even if she got it checked out, what are they gonna say? It's either gonna be,
oh no, I'm the same way. Like, I mean, I won't go to the hospital unless I'm fucking broken or dying. If I sprain my ankle, I'm like, well, I'm still breathing, kind of thing.
To me, it seemed like she had every intention on coming back. So,
yeah, exactly.
But then it's like, what's the even point of going?
Well, see, that's the thing. For me, sometimes I feel when I watch this film is that I look at her and I go, I think that they just want to get out of there for a breather, though, too.
Okay, that's
she
does.
She
if you
does
can use
want
that
to
as an explanation, then yeah, I'll roll with that.
Because I mean, she's quite obviously not being overly liked by the director and the rest of the cast. She's kind of being hated on by everybody. Everyone's pissed off at her.
Everybody's mad altogether.
Yeah, everyone's just under distress, and it's not that everyone's a shitty character. Everyone's just in that mode. They're just in crunch time, and there's stress on everybody. And I just kind of think that she's getting out of there to just simply get a breather. I don't think there's anything more to it. So,
well, and the black guy lets her.
Willie. Yeah, I think honestly, I don't really think many of these characters are
interesting,
except for Willie. Willie is the only character I pretty much care anything about.
The characters in this film are definitely pretty bland. But no, I'm not going to go as far to say generic. I'm going to say they're just generic. I'm just going to say
they're not generic. Yeah, because they are kind of unique in what they are, but they're just not anything.
A lot of them
special.
Are just normal. Yeah, they're just normal pissed off characters and stuff. They're not those dickhead ass. I mean, maybe a little bit besides the director and stuff, but
they really just don't evoke any kind of feeling, whether it's negative or positive.
Yeah, they just don't play on the natural cliche characters. You know, you don't have that big fucking buff macho guy and big slutty. You know, maybe a little bit, but like
Sybil, and she's the most annoying fucking character in the whole damn movie.
It's not overly cliched in that aspect. So I mean, I think the characters are just bland. Like no one's really that.
They definitely
sticks out. You know, so yeah, it is what it is. What do you guys think about the kills in this film? Because you know, theoretically, when you watch a slasher film, you're not really watching it for, you know, these awesome, uncliched characters, and you know, I mean, sometimes we
and
are,
this
but
deep, imaginative story.
Exactly. There's not really a lot of layers to a lot of slasher films. Let's face it here. What really makes a good slasher film is, you know, sometimes if you can get away from, you know, having overly cliched characters and stuff, but is the kills, is what we're watching these fucking films for, really, and a cool killer.
Kills, cool killer.
I don't think so, man. I think the first kill in the film, man.
Now wait. I didn't say all the kills were shitty. I just think in general there's kills with a cool killer.
Okay, yeah. I wouldn't say shitty, but I'm on the same page as Jeremy a little bit. Like I didn't really, nothing impressed me too much with the kills. They're just kind of like, okay, some of them look okay, some of them.
All his movies are like that for me.
Like to me, some of the kills actually looked kind of bad in a way. Like they just the physics of things just wasn't super well done.
Okay. I don't really find the kills overly that amazing too. I think the first one is probably my favorite one, just because it's raining to like these levels where, you know, it's completely.
I love that shot and that scene, by the way. Like I love that rain, dude. It's just pouring. Yeah, and it sets up the mood for the dark, stormy night. Like I like that in my slashers.
Exactly. So I thought that kill was, you know, pretty good and stuff. But yeah, I mean, they're not overly the most insane kills in this film for sure.
I do like when he brands a chainsaw. Like the chainsaws are just that sound.
And all his movies again, chainsaws are fucking good.
Well, I mean the chainsaw death. I won't tell you who dies, but. Fuck, man, that shit makes me laugh every single time, man. There's a part where Buddy looks at his arm and fucking looks up, and it's just like the funniest. The way it's filmed, it just makes me piss myself every time, and then the kill even gets better. Yeah. So I think that actually is the most effective and funny one in the film. But
now I do think the film manages to, like, towards the end. I think that the whole end area. Not the very end, but like the final girl scene type thing. Like I thought that it was really suspenseful, and I thought it was well done. Especially when the killer is kind of just sitting there with all the feathers blown around. Like it looks good. And the scene with the key and the dog. Like I thought that was all really well done. Like really well done, honestly.
Yeah, I always find the end of this film very effective for me too, because I'm simply terrified of heights, and like that is just an adrenaline rush to me to watch. You know, and like anything
but
like
you were throwing up.
Yeah, it drives me nuts, man. I'm just like, but I get a little giddy when I'm watching stuff like that. I think that it was just cool. You know, it's, you know, I mean, I don't want to give anything away, but you know, when she's hacking away at the rope and stuff, I'm just like, yeah, you know, fuck that.
Yeah.
I mean, because I kind of like that. I like that whole scenario though too, because at that point where the killer, he has to make a decision, up or down, right? And I don't know. I like it. It's effective because it gets my palms a little sweaty. It might also be because they were on my balls, you know, at the time too. But it happens. But I don't know, man. I really enjoy this movie, man. I don't find it to be one of those films that, you know, because it came out at a time in 1987 where slasher films were way past their prime. You know, it seemed like a lot of slasher films that came out from like 85, you know, to 87, 89 were on the little more fully generic side of slasher films. Like they were just, okay, there's another slasher film, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Do you feel that this one kind of separates itself from that cliche a little bit, or
I think it's a lot less campy than the slashers that were coming out at the time.
But it's still a lot of the same shit, though.
Well, of course,
I don't know.
But it's a slasher. They're all a lot of the same
Like
shit.
I said on the Facebook page, like the movie is really, really, really beautiful at some points, and I think like
the feather stuff where he's
some of the cinematography is
got a lot of style.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of style.
I think a lot of slashers don't have that, but it's a really, really beautiful movie to look at some points.
I completely agree. That's why I love this film, because I feel like when I watch it, I'm watching something a little bit different. Mm-hmm. I might not be able to fully pinpoint what it is, but there is something different. Maybe it is that it's a little more, a little more serious. It's not as campy as a lot of these, especially the later 80s slashers, man. Some of them are just the point where they're fucking comedies, man, is what they are. This one doesn't really have a lot of, comedic elements to it, man.
Not intentionally comedic.
Exactly, not intentionally. I mean, there is obviously moments in the film where you look at it and you go, well, it's pretty fucking funny, actually, but not intended. But you know what I'm saying, though? It just has this different type of feel, and I think a lot of it starts with just the way he sets up and just the look and tone of the films. It just feels more serious right away.
I think it succeeds as a slasher on a few levels. One of them being that at the time, slashers were a dime a dozen. There were so many. And what did every slasher try to do? It tried to set itself apart from other slashers. And I think that this one does do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so too. I really do. And another huge thing about later 80s slashers, the time this one came out, man, it didn't seem like there was a lot of slasher films with really kind of unique standout soundtracks. And, like you said, you'd heard people say they didn't like the music in this one. I personally love it, man. Yeah, I love the music in this film. I find it just fits so well for what the film setting is. Mm-hmm. They couldn't have done it any more better, in my opinion. I think it's just kind of, it's upscale and it's kind of pretentious, and it has that late 80s kind of fucking up-tempo feel. I don't know. I just find it fits perfect, and I think it works a lot better than a lot of other slashers do.
Mm-hmm. I think my big negative comes in the very end. It's kind of like a what the fuck type thing.
Yeah, because
this really doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Because the cops come, they take them.
Well, don't
go. I'm not, but yeah.
Yeah, I felt the same way. And then it even gets more bizarre, like at the very, very end with Willie, and I'm just like, what's that?
Well, this has always been my biggest problem with the film. I just don't understand how you can,
justify
write a script. Well, no, there's no justification in it. It doesn't make sense. It simply does not make sense. And
it's my biggest problem, missing scene or something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, and that's the thing, is that this was, I don't know, the script seems, I wouldn't say, not flawed or anything. There is, little problems here and there, but nothing too major. But, the script overall is pretty kind of flowing. It's got a really nice kind of balance to the script, and it's got a nice tempo to the film.
It's not
I don't
slow.
know. What's that?
I said it's not slow or anything.
No, yeah, it's got a really good kind of tempo to the, and I don't understand why you would incorporate something so bizarre into a film that's really not bizarre. Like, why would you kind of put that end scene in there? It's like,
yeah, man,
it's kind of like what we talked about in City of the Living Dead. The very, very last shot in that film, which is mind fucked people forever. No one can make any sense of it, and
and then you kind of just come to terms with it. Probably just doesn't make sense because it doesn't make sense.
Exactly,
there's no greater meaning.
I've literally, man, the first time I watched this film, which I don't know when it was, early days of fucking internet and stuff. And yeah, dude, I was like, what the fuck did I, of course there's nothing on it. You look over the years and people have the same ideas. You look on there and like, hey, what's your interpretation? Doesn't make sense. That's really what it is. And I've kind of come to my senses and my conclusion that I'm like, it doesn't make sense. So, but I mean, in reality, it doesn't.
Yeah, I had no idea what the fuck.
It's not a fucking, it's not one of those. They're not trying to play some twist where, the killer is a fucking creature or he's not human or something. So you kind of look at this and go, this doesn't make any sense. Why would the scriptwriter put this into the film? Is it just an Italian thing? They have to have this like really bizarre last shot in their film sometimes just to kind of throw people off.
Yeah.
Or simply are they doing it just, hey man, we'll give them this because maybe we might make an Aquarius 2. But again, that would make no fucking sense. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But my question is for you guys, does it hurt anything?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
It does. It absolutely
does.
It hurts my rating for one.
Because if we had the discussion during Argento with Bird with the
well,
Crystal
that's why we discuss
Plumage,
it. I'm not, yeah.
If we had the problem with Bird with the Crystal Plumage with the ending hurting the film, why wouldn't this same thing hurt the film?
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, because you don't need it. You could have cut the film off 3 seconds before.
Yeah.
It's honestly, it's bad filmmaking is what it is.
Well, it just seems like a hiccup. It seems like a burp. You're like, what the fuck? What was that?
And hiccups are bad.
Makes no fucking sense to me. I don't know, man. I don't know. But
want to get into ratings, guys?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But let's hear Moodz go first on this one.
Okay. Yeah, man. Honestly, I'm a really, really big fan of this film. I always have been. I do agree that the very end of this film, I find that I just don't get it, and it does actually bring down my rating a little bit. But overall, the whole film for me, I find it has a really awesome pace to it. You know, there's nothing overly outstanding about the film, except for the fact that the killer is very memorable. Music's awesome. I think it just plays itself out very, very well. And I do like the way, Soavi, fully directed this. And like, I like his direction of the film. I like, the sets and everything. I think it is, like Jeremy said, it's a very beautiful film. So all those type of things are a big factor to me, man. I think this film separates itself in the slasher genre, especially at a time where slashers were fucking, basically boring. They were done in 1987. And all these things are good factors. The end, yeah, it does totally whatever. I don't know how many times you could possibly hear the term right between the eyes in a matter of 2 minutes. Also, it's kind of to the point where it's like, okay, really, dude? Like,
it's just bizarre.
Man? We fucking heard you, dude. But I know I'm going to be the highest on this one because I really, really love this film. It's, it's always been one of my favorites ever since I've seen it. And I give it 9 out of 10.
All right, I'm obviously
9 out of 10.
I'm gonna come a little lower than that one, but I agree with Moodz, man. I mean, a lot of the positives that he said, I agree with. Fun factor, the ending doesn't hurt it, but
9?
at a review standpoint, at a critical standpoint, the ending hurts the film. It does, and the bland characters hurt the film. I still really recommend it and like it. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 7 out of 10.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't think it hurts that much for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, I just think there's some cool stuff going on in the movie, and it has a really cool setting. I have to give him that. But with annoying characters, well, Sybil in general, but unlikable characters and kills that have some interesting ones, but overall lackluster. I gave this one a 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah,
okay.
Well, I mean, I didn't
Big
expect it to come.
differences
I'm surprised you even came in that high, to be honest.
It's not a bad movie.
No, that's
No.
That's not bad. I mean, it's only a half point off me.
Yeah.
I thought about going 7.5, but I'm happy with the 7. Jeremy, that's my job. What are you doing?
I've literally seen this movie so many fucking times. Like, I just appreciate everything I'm saying. But the thing is, for me, like, I know you with annoying characters, and it always brings down your rating. It seems like 2 or 3 points. I don't find the characters annoying in this. I just don't find them that interesting. But it doesn't really hurt it that bad for me. I'd rather have kind of straight bland characters than have full blown fucking just annoying off the charts ridiculous character stuff. I don't find anyone that annoying to really affect my rating that much.
And I'm with you a little bit on that too, because I don't find them overly annoying like you. I just find them bland, but I don't think that the film is good enough, and then factor in those as well, for me to personally be that high on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I said, it's just like
it's just like Dark Hall.
No, it's just like the Gates of Hell trilogy, man. Like, the first time I seen City of the Living Dead, I probably would have gave it like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, that my ratings change a lot when I rewatch films. That's true.
Every time, man. Like, the first time I watched Beyond, I was confused.
I'm like that with the church.
I'm still confused.
I was coming in lower, and House by Cemetery, I don't know, those are the type of films that they need multiple watches, and your ratings will change for sure.
You want to know how much I know about the church? 0.
Okay, well, speaking of the church, how about we get into that?
I still have no idea what the fuck's going on.
1989, of course, directed by Michele Soavi.
Of course.
Suave.
Close, JP.
Close?
But your typical Mexican asshole fucks it up.
Yeah, man, the church.
So this one actually has 6 writing credits, huh?
Yeah, maybe that's why it's so fucking
You got
confusing.
Lamberto Bava, uncredited, Fabrizio Bava, Dario Argento, Suave.
Honestly, this movie's not confusing, Jeremy. It's just you're probably just suffering from first time watch.
Or you're suffering from Facebooking while watching. No?
It actually really isn't. Like, if you really just kind of think about it, it's actually quite simple. It's just like how people get confused with House by the Cemetery, and it's really
honestly, I didn't have a huge problem with the church. I did find there were a little bit of confusing elements to it.
Yeah,
but
okay,
overall,
I will admit before we get into this that there is a few things in the film that really don't make sense.
Yes,
they're just unexplainable. Mm-hmm. But as an overall product, it does make sense. So
I'm pretty sure that this is a common theme in Italian films.
Yeah, there definitely is. And you know, I talked about this and I explained, you know, in last week's show, you know, sometimes we don't watch these Italian films for, you know, these overly crazy stories and stuff like that. We watch them for the style and, you know, the substance that
I feel
they just kind of portray.
I feel especially with the Gates of Hell trilogy, though, a lot of that stuff can be explained simply by the fact that it is like hell and it is, you know, these gates that are unexplainable pretty much. So, but you know, so I think that there is a lot of like, you know, piecing it together yourself in those films. Some of the other Italian films I've seen are a little bit more inexcusable when it comes to some of the shit that doesn't make sense. But let's continue on, Moodz. I believe you're going to give us a plot on this one.
Yeah, an old Gothic cathedral built over a mass grave develops strange powers which trap a number of people inside with ghosts from a 20th century massacre seeking to resurrect an ancient 12th century massacre seeking to resurrect an ancient demon from the bowels of the earth.
Okay, so oh, come on. So first thing I got to say,
you know what, Jeremy, I'm
I'm
really surprised that you never even read into this film. There's so much going on in this movie, man, that like it's just
I didn't hate it, but
it's just fucking layer. It's okay. So obviously Jeremy is just like whatever, but okay. First off, score by Goblin, fucking awesome. Always music with me. Love the score.
First of all, also is let's start at the beginning. Jeremy hates period pieces, but it's only like 12 minutes
that has
or
nothing
something.
to do with it. The period stuff has nothing to do with me.
Well, I'm just saying that because you mentioned it.
I think the period stuff actually is really well done. It's fucking looking, man.
Really good. Really good stuff there. I was almost when it ended, I was like, shit, I wish the whole movie was like that.
Yeah, really good costumes, eh? Like really good shit.
Yeah, the knight armor. I like the concept.
Stabbing them and it's good.
Yeah, that's a long scene where they're just rolling through the town with a freaking massacre.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, when they're piling the bodies in there, I was thinking to myself, Jeremy must be having flashbacks right now with this. Oh, dude, that was a bad joke. That was a low blow. But I was thinking to myself, going, "Holy fuck!"
I don't care. It's all other jokes.
No, I'm just fucking. I'm just fucking around. But no, that scene's nasty because like you see the bodies just piling up in there, and they look real, and you see like heads and shit, and you're like, "Fuck."
I love those images. Any film that has bodies upon bodies piled up. It's just so unsettling to me, and I love any film that has a scene with that, dude. I love those scenes. They're so creepy.
Yeah.
But I was bored out of my fucking mind.
Well, we'll get into... Okay, take it away, Jeremy. Let's see.
Nothing, I was just...
Okay, what was so boring to you about the film?
I didn't feel like it was really going anywhere. All we have is this guy finds this magical piece of paper.
Well, hold up. First of all, they hunt down these possessed people in the early days. They bury them.
Let's give them the backstory.
Okay.
They bury them in the ground, and then they, because they're instantly like coming back to life because they're like demonic. So they have this like ritual type magic type thing where they put this cross into the ground and they're
they think that they're coming back to life. I think that is supposed to be someone that's actually still alive that's reaching up above
because I thought they were like
what it is
coming back to life. That's why they had to do that.
In the medieval times, like they just assumed, and this is what it comes down to, like what the whole film is actually about. I mean, the whole film is just a huge metaphor for, you know, the Catholic Church covering up their entire history quite literally, by building a cathedral on top of this fucking mess and covering up. And, you know,
it's like
what
Poltergeist
the whole film,
style.
It is. It's like a huge metaphor. And so I've always got the impression that, like, you know, they see the hand coming up and it's actually just someone that's still alive underneath there and stuff. But they assume that all these people in this village are fucking witches. Well, how the fuck can an entire goddamn fucking village be witches, man? You know, it's just these people and their you know, religious ways and stuff. And that's the way it was back in those days, right? You know, and it starts right from there. Mm-hmm. You know, so, you know, they may have done something bad.
So do you think this was like a false thing? Like Salem witch trials where a bunch of innocent people got murdered?
No, I don't know. Who knows?
Because I kind of read into it like they were actual witches.
I honestly don't know if you're supposed to actually know if they were real witches or not. I think the whole point of the film is it's just, you know, this movie couldn't have been made by anybody else except for Italians, because it makes a lot of sense, because the Catholic, you know, it's obviously runs Italy, right? Like, you know, the Catholic religion and stuff. And it's a big fucking problem, and it's a huge metaphor. And I love the fact that they, you know, Soavi took the time to actually, you know, kind of layer this film a little bit and just make a huge metaphor for, you know, and calling out the church and being like, this is what you guys fucking do. You guys cover up shit. You guys literally cover, and that's what he used. He used that backstory of covering up, you know, and building this cathedral, and it's literal. It's literally. Yeah. You know, and I like that idea.
No, I'm down. I do too.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, it is. And I thought it was very, and like, I can see why people find the movie a little boring and how there's things in the film that don't really make sense and stuff.
Yeah, it's like 40 minutes and nothing goes on for the first, from the point where the massacre ends until 45 minutes later. I don't nothing really goes feel on.
Like that.
No, I actually like it too. I mean, you got this guy that comes in, he's the hired on librarian, and he's there to organize all the books and stuff. And you got a girl who is, again, played by the girl from Stagefright.
Yeah.
I can't say her fucking name, so let's call her the girl from Stagefright. And, you know, she's there doing a restoration, and that's how they end up finding the shit, right? Mm-hmm. You know, so that kind of does make sense and things like that. But I don't know. I just always found it interesting how they hook up right away.
Yeah.
It always made me laugh in the film, man. I'm like, that guy makes good work, man. Really good work.
I know another man who does that, and his name is Tommy motherfucking Atkins.
Yeah, exactly.
But so I like the concept, the you know, poltergeist concept, if you will, where there's this stuff that was buried away. They put this giant cross on it to kind of signify that, like, this happened here, and then they build this giant fucking cathedral on it. Like, I love that concept. I think it's creepy, and I love the cathedral.
Mm-hmm.
Like, once again, just like fucking Stagefright, there's some really beautiful shots going on in this again. And all these three of these movies have some really beautiful stuff going on. I just found this one just boring to me. I don't know why. I can't really explain it. I just.
Well, it probably sets the stage for you kind of losing interest right away, because you're not a big fan of you know, period pieces and things like that.
Yeah.
And then this one is a little slower. Yeah,
the period piece thing happens so quick. And honestly, one thing that I do want to say about that, I think that it's always smart when you have a period piece early on in your film and then it's present day afterwards, to have a smooth transition. And this one does it good because the first shot is a car. So you instantly know we are no longer in the medieval ages.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't get it. And I'll be the first one to say that, you know, I'm not as big as pretentious asshole as I seem, that I fucking understand everything.
Well, I mean, if you go into the notion of just, you know, if you rewatch this film and you're kind of looking for the points of, you know, just the Catholic Church and, you know, just the whole cover up, just the whole metaphor, and you kind of look into things, and it does actually make a lot more sense.
Hey, Jeremy.
It actually is a little more effective when you kind of look at it like that. I mean, there's obviously things that are just crazy and stuff, you know, like how the, you know, the explanation of the contagion, and, you know, apparently it was a contagion, and, you know, the secret was hidden in the architect's mouth. You know, you understood all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. You know, that, you know, you know, you basically, and, you know, like the building coming down is just, it kind of seals the whole metaphor. It's like, you know, okay, it's hiding the secret again.
It's burying with the church.
Exactly. They're burying it again. And this is what they're going to do. They're just going to bury it, you know, and they don't ever face anything in reality. This is what they do. They fucking cover it up, literally, you know? And I love how, you know, they just called out the whole religion in this film. You know, it obviously didn't make a huge impact, you know, but I like the fact that, you know, Italians made this film in an area where, you know, it's dominated by that religion, and they're just like, fuck you, Catholic religion in the film. And I respect that, who knows? I mean, there is obviously parts in the film. I do admit this one runs maybe 10 or 15 minutes too long.
I'd agree with that.
To me, I find that they almost try a little too hard to try to explain things in the end of the film. And it just keeps kind of going on and on and on. And you're like, okay, well, you just kind of stick to this one explanation and we're cool, but I find it just kind of keeps going and stuff. But yeah, I don't know, man.
Jeremy,
I think overall, I think it's a really interesting film, and cinematography is fantastic.
Oh yeah,
really nice.
Good. Jeremy, I got a question. Now you said that you kind of just found it a little boring. Do you think that maybe you started to tune out a little bit, and maybe that's why you're not exactly sure what all happened?
Yeah, okay, maybe because I watched it later on at night and I fucking was tired, but I swore I paid attention to the entire thing and I wasn't really turning out. I would be the first to admit it again if I was tuning out. I don't think so. Maybe I just didn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean that's a good possibility, man. One thing I do like about this film is that it's told very, the tone of the film is very warm. It's serious, right? Mm-hmm. There is some unintentionally funny moments in the third act of this film, especially. I don't know if you guys caught it, but with the old couple and just kind of bickering back and forth.
Oh yeah, honestly, when that happened, I was like, oh, that doesn't even feel right.
I like the
it doesn't. Every time I watch it, I always pick it on. I'm like, why did they?
I thought the whole film was gonna take a total comedic turn.
Yeah, what's up with the fucking kids? The kids are like, what's the point here?
Of what? Of Lodi?
No, just all the little kids.
I don't know, probably Catholic and kids.
Oh yeah, I guess
there's probably more to it, and stuff like that.
I like the bride killed. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, fuck it.
How about that subway thing?
Yeah, that's pretty brutal too.
I was like, what? That was awesome, man.
Isn't that part like so surprising because you don't really expect it to happen? And
no, not at all.
I wouldn't think like a subway was like buried under the church.
Yeah, like
but I guess it makes sense.
Like the just kind of the environmental like thing about it. I just was like, this doesn't really feel like it would.
Well, not even that. You think because of the owl, how much noise it makes, and it would cause the church to fall down even faster because of the fucking vibration that the owl makes, fucking zooming in the subway. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. One thing about the film that's always kind of confused me a little bit is, at the end of the backstory when they lay the cross down on the ground, and then of course it goes in the present time, and the cathedral's built right on that spot. But then when they find the cross in the basement and stuff, and it's got like that kind of that headstone type thing in the middle, whatever you want to call it. It's almost like a manhole, right?
Yeah.
Was that thing put there when they were building the cathedral?
I assume so, because that's when you're doing all your architecture and your grand designs, and you got to think back that it was about art back then and stuff. They make everything all fancy and shit. So I just kind of chalked it up to that.
Yeah,
because I did think of that at first too. But speaking of that little manhole thing, like that scene is great. The lighting, the blue light that shines out, love it.
So awesome.
Fucking love it.
And we see that blue light again in all his movies. All his movies.
Yeah, I love that type of lighting, and it really just adds to this thick atmosphere that I just love.
He is while his movies are very different, the cinematography and the lighting is very similar.
Oh yeah.
So he dabbles in all these different genres, but you could tell his style.
You definitely can tell he's talented. There's no doubt about that. Like he has talent.
Working on so many Argento films and stuff, you can tell, that he focuses a lot of time on things like that, lighting and, angles of shots. And he was Argento's protege. So it does make a lot of sense. I think that one cool thing about this film, it does have actually a lot of atmosphere. Like even inside the church, it just feels eerie. I think it's more for me because I find going into churches just to be kind of unsettling.
I love something about church, dude. I'm with you because I've never really been like a churchgoer.
Yeah,
and I find
me neither.
Churches are a great place to set a horror film.
Yeah, really. But in the basement, it's just awesome, man. It's so good, man. It just looks good. It's kind of like in City Living Dead, when they go into that crypt and stuff, and or in the beyond basement, right, JP? It's just fucking so awesome looking, man. Just old and creepy and shit.
One thing we didn't mention is we got a young Aja Argento in here.
We do. Yes.
He's looking a little good already.
Mm-hmm.
No homo.
Dude, I have to say the one part in this film...
You mean no pedophilia?
Yeah, I guess so.
The one part in this film, man, that's just... It's so funny that Soavi threw this into the film.
He's fucking looking up her legs.
Yeah, well, he's kind of possessed at that time. Like, he's not really himself. And but just the fact of throwing that in there in a church, I was like, okay, this is all making sense to me now. Like, really, like, you have this, you know, coming down on a kid, and it's like, holy fuck, man. They were just throwing lefts and rights in this film, man.
Yeah.
I believe she was 14 and was playing a 14-year-old.
Yeah, she was 14.
Well, now I sound even more fucked up.
Yep. Jeremy is pro pedophilia.
Yep. I might as well go join Jared when I'm at it. See, this got sentenced to 14 years in jail today, so...
One thing I really liked about... I mean, you know, I've heard people say, like, what was the point of Lodi's character in the film? Do you guys have any idea what, you know, what the point of her... Like, I have some speculation of it.
I think that it has to do with the beginning of the film. Maybe?
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah, I think it's kind of layered. Definitely what's in the beginning of the film. I also think that, you know, her father in the film, he's what do they call them? The Saristican, whatever they call it, like his job inside the church. He is he's basically the person that, you know, looks after the church and looks after all the contents inside the church. They actually have a name for it. It's like the Sarkistican or whatever the hell it is. I don't know. I'm sure someone will correct me on that one. But I found that it was kind of an interesting parallel, you know, in contrast to her character, because if you watch scenes in the film, he is, you know, he's kind of representing what the Catholic Church is, you know, all about and stuff, you know, just, and his wife is kind of like the parallel to that. You know, he's kind of like the evil person. He treats his daughter like shit and stuff like that. And his wife kind of represents the church, and she's just turning a blind eye to it. There's a scene where she comes in, you know, at nighttime from being out and stuff. She's smoking, drinking, and doing her thing. And, you know, he's giving her shit and stuff like that. He's just being like overly aggressive with her. And the wife, she kind of just ignores the whole fact, just kind of like just turns a blind eye to it. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was actually... Yeah, just kind of let her be. And it happens actually a couple times in the film. Like, he's kind of he's the bad, and she's, you know, he's representing the bad side of the church, and she's kind of representing, you know, the part where it's turning a blind eye and things like that. I thought that was an interesting, you know, kind of contrast and, you know, parallel with the main story of the film. It's not really the whole point of why she's there. It's just my kind of interpretation of why she's there, you know? So if it makes sense, anyone agree?
Yep.
Yep. That's it.
What are you, fucking Dave Hester?
Man, I don't know, man. I was just having a lot of fun rewatching this film and just kind of reading shit.
Because I honestly do think this is one I will need to rewatch. I feel like I'll pick up a lot more too, because even though I do feel like I got the gist of it and I feel like it wasn't that confusing to me, I know that there's more to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest problems I have with this movie is, you know, it does run a little bit too long. I just find it just kind of loses its direction a little bit at the end. It's like, you know, you could have probably summed up the whole thing without that extra time on the end. And I find it does take a long time, and it kind of hurts it a little bit. So, yeah, you know, but overall, I'm a really big fan of this. I love the layers to it, and, you know, what's going on, and, you know, that whole Catholic thing. I've always been kind of interested, even though I'm not a church person, but I just like that, you know, I really like how they just kind of called him out. It's fucking nice.
It's interesting. Nice. It's an interesting perspective.
So, you guys want to get into ratings?
Sure.
Jeremy, you want to go first?
Okie dokie. Okay. Well, 5 out of 10.
All right.
It's a well-made movie. Good acting. I just found it boring. And maybe I'm just part of my use of the R word, retarded.
I'm surprised nobody commented on that on the Argento show. We actually had a discussion about that last week about using the R word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, me personally, like, I dig this film a lot. I love the setting. I do think there are some plot holes, and like Moodz said, it does run a little bit too long, gets a little clunky in there a little bit. I love the opening. I mean, altogether, like, I just think that this film is a cool setting. It's a cool horror film. I love the concept behind it, the symbolism, like Moodz said. I honestly don't have a lot of problems with it besides just the clunkiness and a few plot holes here and there. I give it an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10, not bad. Yeah, I'm pretty much exactly what there. Yeah, it's definitely not a perfect film. Runs too long. I think that's the biggest thing that hurts it for me. I do like some of the gore in this. I think there's some scenes that are, unintentionally funny that don't need to be there, but
I'm gonna get slammed on this one.
I'm not gonna lie, I fucking laughed. Every time I see the train scene, I fucking laugh so hard, man. It's crazy.
I don't really laugh out loud a lot. I believe I've said that before, like when I'm by myself. And like it wasn't immediate like haha, it was like a delayed.
I had that. I had that in Cemetery, man.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I'm just, this film has grown on me over the years. Like honestly, when I first watched this one, my rating would have been a lot lower. And just over the years, I've kind of come to appreciate what they were trying to accomplish with this film. It was more than meets the eye. You have to read into things a little more. And, I think it really does work. There is some things that are unexplained and, some obvious plot holes and things, but, you're going to get that in these Italian films, and which I explained last week. And, I really enjoyed 8.5 out of 10.
Cool, man. So
get my asshole ripped on this one.
Give it another watch in a couple months, Jeremy. I know you're not a big rewatcher, but I think you might see it a little bit different.
Well, it's like all these films, right? I mean, especially the Gates of Hell trilogy, right? You agree, right, JP?
Oh yeah. And that's another thing. Like, I do think that the church really kind of had some of the similar things that I liked about the Gates of Hell trilogy. Like, it felt like kind of one of those type of films.
Mm-hmm.
But before we actually get into Cemetery Man, I think we're actually going to try something a little different this week. We will review the film, give our ratings, and then at the end we will actually do a little bit of spoilers. But it'll be after the show's pretty much over. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Actually, I think that's an interesting idea. I don't know who came up with that. Was that actually you that came up with that? Because I think
it wasn't. I've heard other podcasts do it.
Okay, yeah, it's a good idea.
And I've only wanted to do spoilers if we do them after the show's already over. So pretty much everybody could just leave because that's the end of the show after that, and then the people that have seen the movie can stick around.
Exactly. Okay. So Cemetery Man from 1994,
which is crazy. 1994. I mean, what a shit fucking decade.
Yeah, man. Also known as Della Morte Dell'Amore, of course. Cemetery Man.
Go ahead and try this one.
I'm just trying to read the fucking the description on this film.
One sentence description.
It's like so ridiculous. A cemetery man must kill the dead a second time when they become zombies. Okay, well, I guess that's the short and long of it, right?
Ratings.
Yeah. This one we're introduced to our lead character, who is kind of living at the cemetery. Like he is like
living at the cemetery.
Yeah, not even kind of, literally living at the cemetery. He has a little shack thing.
With his little curly friend. Who's basically curly from the
he just reminded me of like the look of that dude from the Human Centipede too.
Yeah.
He's just this little short bald man.
Nagi.
Fat.
Nagi. Yeah, Rupert Everett plays the main character, Francisco Della Morte. Della Morte, I think, is Italian for death. And
it's like Saint Vincent of Death or something like that.
And Dell'Amore is, of course, the opposite, or not the opposite, but it's love, I think.
Yeah, Dell'Amore.
Dell'Amore, yeah. This movie right here, I've always kind of dubbed as, if you put like Dead Alive together with like,
Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead 2, this is kind of what you get. It really does have the feel of Dead Alive. It's really fucking strange. It totally has that look, and it's hard to believe that this movie came out in 1994 because, if you didn't know when you popped this movie in, when would you think it was made? Would you think 1994?
I definitely wouldn't think 94.
Like 90?
No, man, I just wouldn't know. Like, I just have a hard, like, it's so weird. Like, I would probably say, I don't know.
89?
It's just, it's just really hard to kind of, Soavi, he created one of the most interesting nightmare atmospheres dream-like nightmare atmospheres I've ever seen on screen.
It's not even that. He created its own sort of like world.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that that's definitely intentional, but
no, it is intentional because this is fucking all in his mind, man. In my opinion.
Way to say no spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Well, that's in my opinion. I don't think there actually is a right or wrong thing to this film. You know, I mean, if you guys knew the history, like this is another one of these films where people are searching for answers left and right, to exactly, because there's so many weird things about this film. You know, like it's just the fact of, okay, basically the short and long of this film is that, you know, Rupert Everett plays his character and he works in a cemetery, and he works in a cemetery where, you know, after the dead are buried, 7 days later, they just come back to life.
7 days.
Supposedly 7 days later, they come back to life, and you know he just
deals with the problem.
He just deals with the problem.
It's like regular life for him.
It's nonchalant. He just goes and kills him, and he goes on.
Gets snoggy and
the very first scene in the film where he shoots a zombie, he's talking on the phone. He shoots the zombie in the head and just keeps going back to what he's doing. Yeah. So it's all nonchalant. It's his job, and he says this over and over again in the film. He's like, it's just my job. And the funny thing is, people know that what's going on, and apparently this is like the only cemetery where this happens, but no one seems to question it, which is really strange. That's why you kind of think it's like in this alternate reality universe type thing.
I think doesn't he drop a line though that he wonders if it's happening at other cemeteries?
Yeah. But see, like, the only reason
he does, but then he says something so awesome. You know, he just kind of plays it off like, you know, I don't even care if it's happening anywhere because I'm here to do this job and that's what I'm gonna do. He goes, I don't give a shit what's going on anywhere else. And I like that. I like that whole tone and attitude to the film. It's just like, I don't give a fuck. What is going on? I'm going to deal with this.
The only scene where I see that sense of, well, one of the major scenes I think that gets this message across that maybe it's in his mind is the ending where Nagi talks.
We'll get into that because I have my own theories as well.
Okay.
But let's talk about the film. You know, the
fake ass titties
right now. So there's these weird day-to-day things that happen to him. There's really no sense of rhyme or reason to the rules and what's really going on here. We're just kind of with this character and seeing things that are happening to him and around him. He sees a girl that he finds to be the most beautiful girl in the world. He meets her. They have sex. She dies-ish.
Yeah, I guess so.
That chick is pretty fucking beautiful, man.
You find out later. Yeah.
Her tit job's shitty.
See, that's an interesting thing that I'll get to later, you know, with my thoughts on this film.
Why are you fucking rubbing your eyes?
I got contacts in.
Oh, I thought you meant like, because I said her titties look bad.
No, it's
man. She just got big nipples, man. Fuck. Oh, man. Anna Fulci, she's so fucking hot.
Yeah,
man. I'm not saying she's not hot. I just think her tit
boobs.
Job's bad.
I like them. I love them, actually.
I mean, okay, well, that's one thing that we probably could say. I mean, you know, actually, the funny thing in this film, I think she was known as, like, just she or her or something like that. Like, she doesn't even have a fucking name, I don't believe. It's kind of interesting. But it's one kind of interesting thing that
she would have a name because she's married to that guy, and the guy died. So I guess you would know her last name.
Yeah, but I don't think he ever says her first name in the film at all.
Yeah, her credit is just she, I believe.
Is that what it is? Okay. But yeah, man. So there's one really interesting thing in this film that you find out that when you get bit by these zombies,
nothing happens.
You don't necessarily die.
Yeah.
So, you know, it kind of puts a real fucking interesting twist into the film.
But if you get bit, do you go crazy?
Well, that's the whole thing. This is where all the theories of this film come from. It's like,
yeah, because he doesn't become crazy until he gets bit.
That's debatable.
It is debatable, and that's the thing. That this whole movie is just full of like theories and, you know, weird kind of things. But, you know, let's talk about the specs in the film. I personally think that the just the look and the fantasy atmosphere of this film is so fucking amazing, man. It's like, you know, when you watch Dead Alive and it just has that feel to it?
Yeah.
It's like you just snagged that from there.
Yeah, it really does.
and then just threw in like this crazy kind of nightmarish, weird.
You could still see the strings on the fucking.
Oh yeah, I love that.
It's so funny.
I love that. It's so awesome. But like the nighttime scenes and like it has this kind of fantasy nightmare look to it. It's just so fucking awesome. I love it, man.
Yeah, like when they go into the mausoleum and there's like all the skeletons everywhere. It's really bizarre. That's like the best word to describe this film.
It is. It's bizarre beyond bizarre.
Because even like when you're just thrown into this and you're like, what the fuck is going on? There's this chick and she's walking away from him, and then he's like, we have a mausoleum here, and she's like, oh my god, and she wants to see it, and you're like, why does she want to see it, and why are they going in there, and why does they want to have sex now? You're just like, why? And you're just so, like, seriously, I was so into this one just because I wanted to know why. I just was so...
But they never say why.
But I think that's the thing, man.
That's also debatable, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Because there's things there that kind of lead you to your own conclusions. There probably is an answer. Like Michele Soavi, I believe he probably knows what he was trying to do. I don't know if he's ever told anybody, but I think there's a lot of symbolism in this film and a lot of clues
there is.
to your ending.
This movie is, in the short and long.
Look at those like floating blue orb things
with strings attached.
I actually didn't even see the strings, but
you could see.
Yeah, no, they're there.
But there's
but
that.
How about I think it's also done purposely.
When they're actually having sex, they're very sexual. By the way, this movie is. The girl with the statue behind her, the wings. It just her body goes right in front of it, and then there's a statue that has like wings on it, and it looks like she has wings, like almost like an angel of death type thing. There's a lot going on in this.
Way to go, JP.
What?
Subtext.
Yeah.
Never talk about subtext.
Who, me? Yeah. I think I do, actually. I think I always bring this stuff up.
I mean, it's short and long. I mean, this movie is simply about life and death.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Especially.
And it's very sexually motivated.
And love.
And stuff.
Yeah.
And love. Exactly. Sexual and love and, sexuality and love and stuff.
Sex, love, death, and life.
But the major question is in this film is it reality or is it not reality? I mean, there's a lot of things going on in this film that you can look into and ask yourself, is Unagi even a real person? Is this whole thing happening inside of Francisco's mind?
I think the snow globe has some sort of...
There's just endless questions, right? It's interesting when you read things on this film and, people's opinions and just their thoughts on it and stuff. And it kind of gets you thinking, but, as far as I know, I don't think there's any definitive answers to this film. So, I mean, what exactly are your guys' what's your thought, Jeremy, on this film? What do you think is really going on?
Well, do we want to do that right now?
I mean, it's not really a spoiler. I mean,
when I start to talk about what I think's really going on, it's definitely a spoiler.
Okay.
Ratings. Seriously, ratings, and we'll go into spoilers.
Okay.
Well,
we can still talk.
I love the music in this film. It's very good. There's that one scene where the dude throws up on the girl. I found that so bizarre and just like, what?
Dude, when the fucking girl gets her head ran over, it's fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Awesome. So awesome, man. So awesome. I love Francisco because he totally reminds me of Bruce Campbell in this film. Not only in look, but just in tone. Like he's just naturally funny. It's like
very good casting in this film.
Just the way he delivers everything in the film. He's just kind of got this weird personality to him. Like he constantly throughout the film says that he's, he just works here. He's just the gatekeeper or the cemetery keeper. He's not an engineer and things like that. There's so many weird things in this film that are going on that I guess we'll talk about in spoiler territory and stuff. But I don't know, man. I can't help but just absolutely love this film. Because there's nothing more satisfying to watch something that potentially has so much more meaning and just having that type of look and just kind of figuring out this is the type of film you can watch over and over and over again and probably pick out things like constantly. But I love the nighttime setting in this film. Like some of the shots in this film, again, Soavi, just beautiful cinematography, really, really great casting. And it's naturally
blue styles again.
Yes, exactly. The colors are amazing, but his natural ability, or the natural comedy in it, it's just so funny. There's so many funny parts in this movie, just the way dialogue is given. And I mean, there's goofy parts in this film that are really, really funny though. Like I mean, the whole head with Nagi, with his fuck, I was
funny,
pissing my fucking self laughing when he's talking to her in the TV.
and then the mayor's like, "You're on TV."
Yeah, man, it's fucking so funny, man. But I just love when Francisco's digging up the body and he's just fucking, or when Nagi, when he grabs the head and he pulls it right off the body, it's just so natural. He's like, okay, I'll roll with it. Fucking great. I love the comedy. It's not silly, but you just kind of roll with it. And
there's a lot of subtle comedy, like where he's talking about, I believe, Nagi, and he's saying, he hates when the leaves get away and stuff, and he's just like trying to hold all the leaves down. It was just funny,
It's that never winning battle. You
can't
win.
Right. And I think that is even symbolizing the dead coming back to life. Like there's so much of it in here that I was just picking it out.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree.
But yeah, I mean, there's some great scenes in here. I love when the statue of death, the Grim Reaper himself, like I love how that was done, how it looks.
Yeah, it looks like a Halloween prop.
There's so much stuff in here. The skull that he's trying to rebuild.
Yeah.
I mean, you can,
which is a huge metaphor in itself, though. Too.
Yeah. Nagi's able to rebuild it, but he isn't. So it's like, oh, what does that mean about?
Well, see, this is where you get into spoilers and stuff. Like that's why I was kind of on the theory of like, how it could be possibly all in his head, and the fact that he can't build that skull, and Nagi can. That's kind of that's a big representation of what's going on right there, and why I think the Nagi is representing the good side of him, and he's more of the the evil side.
I think that it helps with I think what it kind of is also saying is that Nagi is like free, and he is kind of trapped to his own issues, and that's what he struggles with this skull. Meanwhile, Nagi could just come in and do it because he doesn't have this never-ending problem in front of him, because he's just free. He doesn't have problems.
Yeah, that's interesting too. I don't want to go scene by scene, but one scene in this film that it floors me, and like I literally, like I almost piss myself every time I see this. It's the scene where he's at the hospital and he's trying to talk.
Yeah, and he's just fucking blowing out everybody's brains.
Fucking, so it's just the way he does it. He just turns and he just shoots the fucking. I think it was the nun first, and then the doctor, then the nurse.
Yeah.
Fuck, and the way it goes down, it's just like it's so fucking funny, man. Because it's like so surreal.
He doesn't show any emotion. He just turns, shoots back to talking.
That's the thing. That's why it's so surreal the way it's filmed, and it just that's the beauty of this film. Soavi manages to capture that same tone throughout the film, no matter what he's doing in any scene. Like when it goes outside the cemetery, you would think that it would kind of change the mood and the atmosphere a little bit at times, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
It still feels surreal. It feels like you're in a dream. And that's what makes this movie so fucking beauty, man. It's so awesome. It's so awesome. I can't stress how much I love this movie. It's just amazing to me. But I don't know. I don't really know what else to say about it, without just giving
spoilers.
Yeah, so do you want to go into ratings and then we'll get into the spoilers? Okay, I guess I'll go first this time since I haven't went first. I think this movie offers so much. I really do. I think that I'm starting to piece things together, but I don't know if I ever truly know. And unless, Soavi tells us himself, which I don't know if he ever has or if he ever should. But I honestly don't have very many problems with it at all. I wish that I knew more about piecing it together. So if I knew that there was for sure a answer, then that it was like genius or something. Then I would be I'd be on the stage of giving a perfect rating, But I don't know. So I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
Okay, Jeremy.
Well, I typically just do what I always do. Say my rating, 9 out of 10.
Wow, I'm surprised you came in that high, actually.
Why? It's a fucking awesome movie.
I don't know. I'm always surprised when you're like, that's a 9. I'm like, holy fuck. Yeah, dude. I've been in love with this film for so long. I think this just is one of those films that I just can never get enough of. Maybe it's the simple fact that it has so much to offer, and the fact that, maybe it's just open for interpretation, and it's one of those films that you can watch and just kind of go, well, that's what it's about, or this is what it's about. It has so much replay value, and you just find yourself kind of, digging deeper and deeper into it. And, it just has everything I like in film. I like that subtle comedy, the beautiful aspects of it. The beautiful titties in the film, in women, that of course helps too.
Show me those boobs.
Some really interesting, when the girl gets her fucking, and that's one funny thing in the film too, is like the girl that, gets her head run over by the bus is the girl that, they kind of piece her back. I'm like, wow, they did a pretty good stitch job on her head there, considering her head got demolished. That kind of made me
That's
laugh.
like Pet Sematary.
Exactly.
Biggest plot hole in the movie. The kid should be paced.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it's just like 2 stitches on her face.
Yeah. But I don't know. This one probably going to surprise you guys a lot. And, I've always had this, this minor phobia of doing this, but I'm going with a 10 on this. I love this movie.
God.
Well, that's the first in history.
He did a 10.
I love this movie. And I was watching again last night, literally on the edge of my seat. I was typing on my computer, I was taking notes, and I didn't even move. Like, I was just watching. I was like, I hadn't watched it in about a year and a half. And I just all of a sudden had this appreciation for this film like I've never fucking had before. And I was just like loving every second. I was getting chills while I was watching. I'm like, this movie is so good. It's so good. And then I got all down when it ended, because I was like, Soavi didn't do anything else after this, man. How the fuck can you end your horror career on this shit, man?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I was so down.
It's like he was progressively getting better.
I know, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
This movie just has so much to offer, and I'm like, damn, dude. I just want to have a conversation and be like, can you please make another? Just come on.
Before you die.
It's so sad. It's so sad. But
well, guys, I don't know if you're aware of this, but
Hall of Fame.
10, 9, and 9 equals 28, which
holy shit, I didn't
does
even think of
make
that.
our Hall of Fame. And we will induct it this episode. So with a rating of 9 from me, a 9 from Jeremy, and a 10 from Moodz, Cemetery Man from 1994 will be inducted into the 22 Shots Hall of Fame, our newest inductee. I think that's pretty cool. I was not sure if that would happen, but I think it's pretty cool. Definitely a high caliber film. Everybody should see this. And that will be the end of the show and we're gonna go into the spoiler territory now.
Yeah. Okay, JP, do you want to start, or Jeremy, you can start too?
Nope, JP.
Okay, so I do agree that it's in his head.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one thing that I was thinking, and I'm not sure if this is crazy or not. See, I don't. That is a good concept as well. I'm not really sure though. But one thing that I do feel that this could be an answer is the character of Franco. We have Francesco, which is our lead character, and then Franco. Franco is in a coma. Yeah. At the end of the film.
So you think Franco is Francisco?
I do.
Franco is Francisco.
Okay, so
that's exactly what I'm thinking. That's why I'm thinking this is all happening inside the coma.
Yeah, he's trapped.
Mm-hmm.
That's why things are so odd, and that's why people are like, "Oh, well, is that barbed
somebody
wire?
Just killed somebody upstairs?"
Well, no, there's scenes in the film that it kind of elaborates on this a little bit, because it's so surreal. Like, they're putting barbed wire up on the fence and like, okay, is that to keep the zombies out or to keep them from getting in? Like, no, they get out sometimes. You know, it's like normal conversation. Like that shit doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just like weird fucking dialogue.
Like
and
the old lady, like the old lady dialogue.
Yeah, there's just weird things and that are going on in the film where generally these type of things wouldn't happen, but I don't know. That's just anyways, JP, go on.
Okay, so I didn't know that if you guys would think so obviously you guys thought that as well. Mm-hmm. I think the snow globe, I think throughout the film there's all these hints of that happening. Mm-hmm. There's all these things these clues, if you will, that lead to what happened to him previously. I think that the snow globe is something that represents his coma. He's trapped in there.
Exactly.
The end of the world as like you can't escape it. The world like drops off almost. I think that the reoccurring girl is a past lover. He loves her. That's the thing that he did. I also think that the burning of the prostitutes, I think, has to do with whatever happened in his past life or his out of the coma life, where he was he obviously did something very bad, which ended up resulting in where he eventually led, and it probably had something to do
which
with
goes into the fact of
maybe like after he like the prostitute situation, that's how he got into the coma. Like, something happened and because he was running from the cops or something, because he just killed all these prostitutes, and that's why he's in the coma that he's in.
I will tell you one thing that I didn't touch on in the actual film. When he lights that fire and then he gets in his car and you see the reflection of the fire come up, dude.
I thought that was
brilliant,
the car on fire.
Brilliant, because that's also a symbolization of the character of the flames around him. Because like quite literally, you're seeing him and the flames are equal. He's essentially, it looks like he's burning. I love that. Anything, I mean, there's. I'm wishing I could think of all the scenes, but there's so many that represent.
There's one scene in the film where he kind of comes to a conclusion in the film where he figures that he killed the hot girl, and he realizes that he did kill her.
Yeah.
After he gets bit, and he's like, "Holy shit!" And that's right at the point where he kind of snaps in the film, and he goes on a killing spree and starts doing like crazy shit like that. So he, at that point is kind of, he's guilt stricken. He was responsible for her death. Because initially he thought that once you get bit by the zombies, you're dead. But then when he realizes that he actually killed the love of his life, he fucking snaps and he goes on this.
So I think that was his wife in his previous life.
Exactly.
And he did something wrong.
And then he
in her death
because he can't apologize because of, I don't know, maybe I think maybe that's why he's trapped, because he feels like something went wrong with his relationship with his wife, that he can't say sorry about something, and that's why he's trapped in this snow globe.
I think he's in a coma.
Now once you bring it full circle and you think about the zombies and stuff, like what exactly is the symbol there? Them coming back to life is a symbol it's a representation of dealing with his
demons,
guilt.
With demons that will never leave. They just keep coming back.
Exactly. He's dealing with.
You can kill them and think you got rid of them, and they just keep coming up. They keep coming up. It's a perfect. Zombies are a perfect representation of that.
Yeah, because they keep coming back to him. He's dealing with his guilt, man. So
yeah, and I think there's some stuff there. There's a line that the Grim Reaper actually delivers. I forget the fucking line, but I think that even lends to the point that we're all making. The Angel of Death wing things. There's clues throughout the film that are letting you know what's going on.
Yeah, I still think the the end scene where him and Nagi are driving, to get the fuck out of there, and the scene where they're driving through the tunnel.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a huge fucking metaphor for death right there. I mean, this is what happens when you're in a coma, right? Don't you see the white light and you see a tunnel?
Yeah.
And shit like that. And then when you get through it, you come to the end of the earth, and that's, that's
like I felt like when they were like zooming on the car, like the motorcycle and the mayor's daughter, like the motorcycle driver was Representative Delamorte, and the mayor's daughter was his wife.
I mean, just the fact
And,
that
like,
his last name is Della Morte.
And like something happened, like their life went too fast, and then it crashed and burnt, and that's why he's in the situation that he's in now.
Yeah, and the coffin falling into the water.
Mm-hmm.
There's, I think that also Moodz that tunnel scene.
Oh yeah, and that basically kind of solidifies the fact of where I was going with it. Yeah, that's a good point.
And also the tunnel scene Moodz. I think that like the white light could represent a afterlife, but then once he fully goes through, he's just in purgatory.
Yeah, exactly. He's in a coma. You're seeing that white light, maybe. Who knows? We don't know.
Yeah, I think the coma represents purgatory as well.
Exactly. I think so. Yeah, man, dude, this movie's good.
Right?
This movie's
I know.
fucking
I
good,
feel like
man.
I should even give it a higher rating.
I know, dude. That's why, because I had these thoughts and I was like, okay, I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this shit too.
It's not often that you pull so much from a film on a first watch that doesn't tell you any of it.
I know, dude.
But it's all there. It's all there for you to see and figure out.
I'm telling you, man, watch this movie again. Jeremy, I know you don't rewatch movies, but watch it again, man. It's like, holy fuck, dude. I'm telling you. I never realized how good this movie was until I rewatched it again. I was like, holy fuck, man.
And I think that might happen to me. I might give it a 10 the next time I watch it. It honestly, it's probably going to be one of my favorite movies now.
Yeah,
and
dude,
I don't say that lightly. I don't say that often.
I know, right? I know. I've always enjoyed this film, but it's different when, you kind of grow as someone that watches films and you kind of start to analyze things differently. I mean, Jeremy,
Oh, yeah.
And JP, and and this is a perfect example of a film that I would have never dug into this, 10 years ago. There's not a fucking chance.
Yeah.
I would have been like, man, that's pretty cool looking film. Had some nice tits. Next.
Yeah, according to Jeremy, they weren't nice, but I disagree.
Fuck, she's so hot, man. Holy
she's
shit.
Really hot.
Hey, I didn't say they weren't nice. They just looked like shit.
That's exactly saying they weren't nice.
Okay, guys.
God, I don't know what the hell were you looking at his tits or something or what?
Yeah.
Well, they're on the fucking cover of the new Blu-ray edition, so
I know. I want that Blu-ray. Is it out of print now?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's been gone for a while. I know. I never copped that either.
That is one of the greatest images ever.
I love that scene, man, where his hand is kind of covering up her badge. Oh, it's fucking great, man. So great. But yeah, man, this movie is just so much more than meets the eye, and that's what I love about it.
I honestly think that if you've never seen this film, it's one that you have to see. This is one of those films, I believe Horror's Ball kind of coined this term, Tom, which is a rooftop film. It's a film that you see that maybe not the whole world knows about, and you're so excited afterwards that you just want to climb to your rooftop and say, I saw an amazing film. You want to scream it to the world.
It's a great term, man.
Yeah, he did a lot of analogies early on, and I love them because that is the feeling that you get, man. I mean, you just I just want to tell people that hasn't seen this film, people in my regular life who maybe even sort of like film. This is one that I want to recommend. I want to be like, dude, you got to see Cemetery Man. It's crazy. It's just you can't describe it. You just gonna have to check it out.
Do you think it's a movie that you would show somebody like, hey, you want to get into Italian films? Check this out.
I don't think it really. I honestly don't. I'm not the greatest person to gauge this, but I don't feel like it represents the Italian films that I've seen. This feels like a different beast.
No, it does. It does. It totally does. Like I said, because it actually feels like Dead Alive, which is from New Zealand, and it totally feels like that film. I don't know what it is, but could you watching Dead Alive and Cemetery Man back to back as a double feature would be incredible. That's a great double feature.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is.
I think it would be fucking awesome. So,
I would love to see this on film.
Yeah, dude, so good, so good.
Oh yeah, 35mm. That would be fucking awesome. If it was even shot on. If there's even a print.
This guy, it honestly is a shame that Michele Soavi has not made more films. I mean, this was his high point, his high watermark, and
well, horror films. He kind of stuck in Italy and then just started doing other genre films dramas and fucking action and thrill. It's really, really strange, and they're all TV films. Yeah. So
I would I don't know this film if it was successful or what, but
was this a throwaway film that just? Yeah, was this a throwaway film that just turned out to be an amazing film. Like,
Who knows?
I don't know what the story is with this film. It's really strange, but I don't know.
Now,
but
it's honestly, what's kind of interesting to me is that it's based on a novel.
I think it's based on the Dylan Dog character. I don't really know much about Dylan. I know there was a Dylan Dog film that came out a few years back or whatever. You guys ever see that?
No, never seen it.
Yeah, I think it's based off the comic or something like. I don't really know much about it, man. I sound really ignorant, but I just don't know a lot about. But I'm pretty sure that this movie is based off of Dylan Dog.
Well, I really am curious to see what the listeners have to say about
Apparently
this
it was
one.
super popular. It was super popular in Italy for 30, 40 years or whatever it was. And yeah, so this is kind of take on it, I guess.
Yeah, and I think Brandon will be happy that we went into spoilers. I know Zach will be happy, so hopefully they stuck around and listened to us talk about it and kind of give our opinions.
Yeah, we probably just heard the shit out of Zach's head, because he says sometimes when we get like too in depth about shit, he's just like, "What the fuck, Jeremy? Jesus,
are you serious right now?
Is this first season right now?
Hell yeah! It's fucking 2:05 in the a.m.
Jesus Christ! Okay, that's a good time to end the show, guys.
He just had a relapse. All right, guys. So that's going to do it for episode 63 of the 22 Shots of Moods and Horror. Of course, I am your host, MOOD to the Z.
We got one left, guys. One left. Mario Bava next week.
Yes, one left. And
all right. Thank you, everybody, for listening to that.
I'm so fucking disappointed that you guys aren't watching Blood and Black Lace and on fucking Blu-ray.
Yeah, I am too.
That's fucking shitty, dude. The fucking Blu-ray looks so amazing. And I think the VCI, if you guys are watching on that DVD, the aspect ratio is actually all fucked up. Get back to the aspect. You'll notice it's all stretched out. It's all stretched to shit and it looks like shit. So I'm just going to tell you guys. But so hopefully that doesn't hurt the film if you guys are watching on that transfer. But yeah. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for the show. Hope you enjoyed it. And yes, next week we are doing the maestro, the master, the maestro, Mario Bava. Yeah, what are we doing? Black Sunday, Blood and Black Lace, and
Bay of Blood.
Bay of Blood. Yeah. All right. Jeremy, take us the fuck out of here.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening to episode number 63 of the 22 Shots of Moods and Horror podcast. As always, if you want to follow the man Moods himself, you can do so at youtube.com/Moods616. So if you want to follow the man JP, aka the Mexican fucking asshole, you could do so at youtube.com/doubleshotj. And yes, he still hates Pee Wee Herman. As always, you can follow me on my channel, youtube.com/NESRuler22. If you have any questions, you can leave us a voicemail at 724-426-6665. And if you have any questions, you can email us at the 22 Shots of Moods and Horror at gmail.com. That's 22 Shots of Moods and Horror at gmail.com. So as you can follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/22 Shots Podcast, or twitter.com search bar at 22 Shots Podcast. And you can join us on our Facebook page, facebook.com search bar 22 Shots of Moods and Horror, and join the Facebook page where you could do the ABCs of Horror, whatever short story contest coming up, where I shall be destroying everybody. And that shall do it for episode number 63 of the 22 Shots of Moods and Horror podcast. We'll be back next week with episode 64, and I will leave you with these 3 words: JP is an asshole.
Yeah, and I'll leave you with this. Check out my other podcast. See you guys. Bye.
Peace.